day before this year's Indy 500 will be the All-American Rejects and Bret Michaels. The concert happens May 23rd. General admission tickets will cost $40 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. In addition to the concert, Carb Day tickets also allow you to see on-track activities during the final practice before the Indy 500. Traffic now at 9:04. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, John, looking at southbound 65 into the north split. It is wide open right now without delay, and we do like to see that. Same with eastbound 70. Now we do have a crash coming down from Pendleton, southbound 69 at State Road 38. It's on the left shoulder. Traffic sponsored by PureTalk.com. It's time to ditch big wireless. Pure Talk gives you unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month on their 5G network. Dial pound 250 and say keyword switch now to save 50% off your first month. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, it's the President's Day sale. Save 50% off on all Lazy Boy, plus free sales tax, free delivery, and interest-free financing. Save up to $800 on Stearns & Foster and Tempur-Pedic mattresses with up to 4 years interest-free financing. Low price guarantee, free delivery, interest-free financing, now through Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Hey, this is Travis from Life Church. Do you have questions about God, faith, or church? What if there's a place you could ask them without embarrassment, judgment, or shame? That's the Alpha Course. Bring your questions and we'll even feed you dinner. We'll talk about who Jesus is, what he did on the cross, and what that means for you without the commitment of joining a church. The Alpha Course begins on Monday nights at 6:30 at Life Church Noblesville, beginning March 3rd. Go to lifechurchin.com for more information and to register.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Good morning. Decreasing clouds as we roll through your Friday. Should be a bright afternoon. Today's high 31. Partly cloudy skies and cold overnight, a low of 16. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Sean Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 9:06, time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, Casey, just as we used to say back in Broad Ripple, we found ourselves another dirty.
I don't know what you're talking about. What is a dirty? Someone who's ready to have a good time?
It's somebody who's making a profit at the expense of others.
So everybody keeps calling for an Indiana Doge, but I think we're lifting the veil here on the Kendall and Casey show. And as you say, we've got someone new to add to the list.
So, look, I told Casey this last night because since we lifted the veil back on Scott Baldwin, state senator from Hamilton County, and this Envoy company that he runs, and this multi-billion-dollar company that he's in charge of that makes a huge portion of their proceeds off of government-related construction contracts that they oversee, and then he votes to screw you on property taxes to protect the very entities that his company is making money from. I have been inundated with people who have been saying, you haven't even scratched the surface on what's going on here and how unethical the behavior from some of these people are. And look, it's been like drinking from a fire hose trying to keep up. And what I've quickly realized is this started as a conversation about property taxes and our passion to ensure that you can afford to stay in your home, that you own your home, that the government doesn't have a forever lien on your property. But I think now we are transitioning into something far, far bigger than a property tax discussion, and where our focus, I mean, look, we're going to continue to fight for property tax reform, but where our focus and the focus of our listeners needs to be is what I think any reasonable person would find as highly unethical behavior on these lawmakers who are making money, either running companies, working for companies, consulting for companies, which we're about to talk about, who these construction management companies who are making huge dollars
off of government contracts.
And then they're voting on how these government entities, the amount of money they get, the type of money they get, how the money goes to them, and then they're profiting from these government entities. This is, look, I consider myself a pretty informed person, and I gotta plead ignorance. I had a meeting, and I think we talked about this on the air. About a month ago, I had a meeting with a very high-ranking Republican official in the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
Who is quietly a very big fan of our show, and we will never name this person. And they basically opened up a binder for me, and they said, you have no idea what's actually going on in this state.
Yeah.
They said, you have no idea the level of dirty and unethical behavior that is going on in this state. And I got to admit, we were so focused on the property tax thing that until the last couple of weeks, I didn't get it, and now I'm starting to see it.
Well, now you're realizing that the two are intertwined.
Yeah. So let's talk about the newest person that is wed into this little soup here, and his name is Brett Clark. And Brett Clark is my senator in Hendricks County. Now, keep in mind, we read an email from a listener a couple days ago who had inquired to Brett Clark, hey, what are you doing about this property tax bill? How are you voting? Are you going to vote with us? Are you going to vote to screw us? Are you voting with the government people? And the response they got from Brett Clark was, me know nothing. Me no even know when vote will be.
Right, and then the next day was the vote.
Yeah, me have no idea what will happen. And so as soon as we started talking about that email on the air, started getting a barrage of emails from people saying, you have no idea what Brett Clark is actually doing now and how he's tied into all of this. And so we were so focused on Baldwin at the time that I finally gotten around to looking into this guy. And it turns out, now he lists this. This is on an official government, his own government-produced, I was going to say propaganda piece. But
his biography.
Yeah, right. That he is handing out and he is endorsing and he supports. And I've got the screenshots of all this up at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter if you want to see it. You don't have to take my word for what we're about to read. Now, keep in mind, Brett Clark's background is he is a career law enforcement person. He was a deputy sheriff for years, and then he became the sheriff of Hendricks County. So there's nothing you would say, boy, he really built some big, impressive buildings. He was, this construction king of the Midwest. There's nothing that when you would hear the name Brett Clark, a career law enforcement person, you would go, wow, he's really been at the cutting edge of governmental construction, other than, we'll get to it here in a second. It says professionally, Clark is a business developer and consultant for Garmong Construction Services.
Yeah.
GARMONG. So I thought, well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Why would a career law enforcement officer, who, by the way, he was the sheriff up until 2 years ago.
Right.
So it's not like it was 20 years ago he was the sheriff. Why, you'd think, what would that person do after?
What is in his background that would put him in a position to be a consultant for a construction management company?
Yeah, so I said, well, I got to look into, because you'd think if you were a career law enforcement person and you are retired or you're not the sheriff anymore, I might be a private investigator. I might go into some sort of consulting related to local law enforcement, running a more efficient, effective sort of department. No. He's a consultant. Now, that's pretty vague, right? I'm a consultant for Garmong Construction Services. So you go on their website, garmong.net, GARMONG.net, and you realize they're basically in the same business that Envoy is in. That they put together these major construction projects, and a lot of their, just like Envoy, are local government related projects. So let's roll through some of these. Like, this is, again, just according to their own website. Let's go to the very beginning here. Tri-North Middle School, Plainfield High School, Northview High School, Lawrence Transportation Center, Vincennes Community School Corporation, Central 9 Career Center, Vigo County Schools Aquatic Center, Park Tudor Ayers Auditorium expansion. Let's go to government, shall we?
Yep.
Valparaiso Shell Building, Muncie Parking Garage, Carlisle Library. So, again, you have another company that is bragging about how many government-related construction projects they're doing. I would guess the overwhelming majority of those are paid for with property taxes. And you have a guy who seemingly would have no background, other than what we'll get to here in a second, with large-scale government construction projects as a career law enforcement person, who suddenly, as upon getting out of law enforcement, a career in law enforcement, becomes a consultant for this construction management company. And oh, by the way, Casey, now he's voting to dictate how dollars are doled out to these very government entities.
I don't know if you saw this on the website, but it says on their own website, we have worked hard to earn a label and take pride in our work with the Indiana Economic Development Corporation.
Okay, so now let's talk about the one experience Brett Clark might have with government-related construction. And that is, remember, we called him Big Tax Brett Clark, right? Remember, that's our name for him because when he was sheriff, he supported a massive income tax increase. And much of that, I think, went to the new jail that took place, that was constructed in Hendricks County. So Brett Clark supported your income tax being increased if you're in Hendricks County. And I think a reasonable person would believe, I think that money went in part to the new jail being constructed in Hendricks County. Casey, would you like to guess who on their website is bragging about being the construction manager for the Hendricks County Jail?
Is it Brett Clark?
Well, no, what company is bragging?
Oh, it's Garmon.
Garmon, yes, that's correct. You can see this right now. I've got it again up at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter if you'd like to see it. Garmon's Construction served as construction manager for this new 160,000 square foot, 574 bed jail located on a 15-acre site. And then it goes on to talk about the intricacies of the jail. So let's kind of play this out. And I think the jail was completed in 2022. I think it opened in 23, which would coincide, coincidentally, right with old Brett wrapping up as sheriff, and then seamless little transition into working as a consultant for Garmon. So he's the sheriff. This company manages the construction project that he is in part, you would think, overseeing as the sheriff. And then all of a sudden, well, voila, now he's serving as a consultant for the very company that made a fortune off doing the Hendricks County Jail.
Yeah. It's, I don't want to use the C word, corruption, but it does seem maybe unethical.
Oh, so now we got two of them, right? I've been at this for 2 weeks, and we got two of them, and I'm going to guess the more we look, the more we're going to. This is the story now. The property tax thing is a big deal, and we're going to fight for that. But this is the story that everybody needs to be focused on, which is how many of these lawmakers. And by the way, let's take a break, because then I'm going to explain, somebody who is very knowledgeable in how this process works is going to explain how these guys make money, how these construction management companies make money off of these construction projects.
Okay.
But this is the story now, is how many of these lawmakers are making money off of these construction management companies, or making money off of projects with government-related entities, whether it's through insurance or whatever, and then they are voting to screw you and support these very government entities.
The local governments.
Right, that they're making money off of through a variety of different means.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
The currency of Washington. Politics.
They've got to stop playing politics.
Power.
He just wants power.
Posturing.
What a stupid question.
And I'm going to cut through the nonsense and let you know what is really happening in D.C. this week at CPAC 2025.
He'll talk to the newsmakers, power players, and maybe even find a little common sense.
Stranger things have happened.
Getting the answers that matter to you.
Because somebody's got to do it, and you have a life to live.
Tony Katz, live from D.C. today on 93 WIBC.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer & Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. In one day, you will love your gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
Let's talk about getting back to your best. Lack energy, muscle mass, feel moody, or have low libido? It could be signs of low testosterone. Know your T levels. Get tested. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer. The true experts are at Low T Center, and everyone's different. Don't settle for a standard dosage TRT program.
Get personalized treatment at Low T Center. For current patients, Low T Center offers a $150 referral credit when you refer a new patient. LowTCenter.com. Book that appointment today. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Cold weather brings hot savings at Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $12,000 off and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. So get in on those hot savings at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 61,695. Offers good through February 28, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
So let's explain how it was explained to me last night by somebody who has spent years and years in the government on how these construction management companies work.
Yeah, how did they make their money? Are these no-bid contracts or are these consultant construction companies? How do they make their money?
And this is the story now. This is the story that every news outlet in this city and across the state should be investigating, which is these lawmakers who are making money doing business with local governments who are now voting to delegate dollars to local governments. We're focused on construction management right now, but this should be for insurance,
any industry.
Mm-hmm. How this is allowed to take place and the amount of money these people and the companies they serve are making is just completely ridiculous. So this was explained to me again. You can't get any straight answer, so I've had to try to put this together. And by the way, if any construction management company, whether it's this Garmange or Envoy, if they want to come on and say, no, that's not true at all, and they want to provide receipts, we are more than willing to hear this. I have had to piece this together because you can't get anything from Baldwin other than he wants to meet offline or he wants to talk to people by phone. And I've tried to contact Brett Clark several times, and we've seen how that's gone. But if anybody would like to come on and refute what we're saying, this is what has been explained to me on how the construction management companies make their money. So, and I'm simplifying a very complex thing. thing here, but I'm trying to do it in the time allotted to us. If you have, let's just say your local high school wants to build a new gymnasium, and they hire Acme Construction Management to oversee that project. Acme Construction Management isn't actually building the stuff. What Acme Construction Management is doing is they are putting all of the people in place who can build the thing. So
they're like a general contractor.
That's correct. You need a roofer. You need an electrician.
You need a plumber.
A carpenter. All of these things are needed in order to build this gymnasium. And so what the construction management company is doing, by state statute, by the way, this law was changed several years ago to allow this to take place. And keep in mind, this isn't some private company. This is public money. These are tax dollars. This is your money they're doing this with. Whatever the bid is on the thing for the project, they tack 20% on top of that, or they can tack up to 20% on top of that. So theoretically, while it's for the whole project, if you had a roof and the guy comes in, and by the way, a lot of this just happens to go to people they know, people they've done business with in the past, shall we say, not even necessarily the best bid or the lowest bid. Let's say the roof is $1.5 million, and that's what Fred Inc. says the roof is going to be. They're can get 20% on top of that. So you as a taxpayer are not only paying Fred the $1.5 million to build the roof, you're then going to pay Acme Construction Management Inc.
20%,
which would be $300,000 on top of that. So what incentive does Acme Construction Management have to ensure that you get the lowest best bid? They don't. They don't have any incentive. In fact, they have an incentive to go higher because they're getting the 20% based on whatever the cost of the actual project is.
So when you're talking about voting on property taxes and making the local governments be more responsible with their money,
they have no incentive. If you are a lawmaker who makes money off a construction management company, you have no incentive to get them to be more accountable with their dollars.
You want them to spend more.
And by the way, again, I've had to piece this all together myself because you can't get boo out of these people. And this came from a very, very knowledgeable person who has been through this process as a lawmaker who told me how this all operates. And if this is incorrect, we welcome any of these companies come on and go, no, you're misunderstanding how we're making our money. If Scott Baldwin would like to refute that this is how it works in this business, we welcome him to come on and tell us exactly how he makes money, how Envoy makes money, how they get paid. If this is incorrect, we welcome Brett Clark to come on and tell us how this Garmange, who he is a consultant for, how they get paid, if that's incorrect. But if that's accurate, and this person is very, 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 very knowledgeable in how state government works, and without giving any tip to who this person is, because I'm sure there's a America's Most Wanted manhunt on for this person, because this is the person who tipped me off to this several months ago, and my eyes have just been totally wide open to this. Not only do you have these people making money off government-related construction projects, and then they're voting to decide what happens with government tax dollars, they're de-incentivized from saving you the taxpayer money because they can get paid on a percentage of whatever the thing is paid out at.
So of course they don't want to save money on the local level.
All right, so we got to take a break. When we come back, Mike Gasal, state senator, which my understanding does not work for or run a construction management company.
Insurance.
He's in the insurance industry. He's going to be with us. He was a part of the tax committee that voted on Senate Bill 1, and we're going to have a fun conversation figuring out because he was very against Senate Bill 1, voted for it anyway. He said, hey, I'll come in and talk to you all about it. So we'll try to get to the bottom of what's going on.
That's coming up on 93 WIBC.
Dents happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Don Fisher here for QC Kinetics. I want to share with you the best thing I've done for my knee pain. I've been hearing commercials about the groundbreaking treatments that QC Kinetics offers for months. Meantime, my chronic knee pain had hit an all-time high threshold. I wanted to stay active and enjoy playing golf again without the pain. So I decided to call and book an appointment. And what I found out was that QC Kinetics is the non-surgical solution. I have no knee pain and feel like I did 10 years ago. And it's all because of the non-invasive therapy from QC Kinetics.
Discover the solution to joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. For a free consultation, call 463-282-6886.
I'm back to playing golf and enjoying life. Take it from me, this is the best call you can make to relieve your orthopedic pain.
For your free consultation, call QC Kinetics today. 463-282-6886. 463-282-6886.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Lots of discussion about money. Nothing on radar. Mostly sunny and 16 degrees in the Circle City right now. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Even though Indiana's budget was approved by the House on Thursday, state lawmakers are concerned that they'll pass the budget, then cuts will come from the federal government, and that will force them to rework some things. Democrat Representative Ed Delaney is one of those believers.
If the kind of threats that I see are carried out, we'll be back here. We will be back here.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun does not believe federal cuts will hurt the state. The budget's valued at close to $50 billion, with money scheduled to be allocated to education, health, and infrastructure, among other things. The Senate completed a marathon session that lasted more than 8 hours in order to pass its budget resolution this week. The Republican resolution in the House is a single bill that includes President Trump's tax cuts and will include less than $2 trillion in spending. And if you use ChatGPT, you're not alone. ChatGPT now has more than 400 million active weekly users. OpenAI COO Brad Lightcap says it's twice the number of users the AI platform reported 6 months ago. The number of paid users has also doubled to 2 million. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC is brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. So far, the Dow is down 200 points to 44,069. The S&P 500 is up 5 points at 6,141, and the NASDAQ is up 85 points to 22,227. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Hey, it's JMV with the scoop on how you can attend one of my favorite sporting events, the NFL Combine, for free. Get inside Lucas Oil Stadium to see future NFL stars up close. At the Combine experience, you can pass, punt, and run. And to attend for free, February the 27th through March the 2nd, just go to visitindy.com/combine to sign up for free access and parking. The NFL Combine up close with the best college players in football trying out for the NFL. February the 29th through March the 3rd, sign up for free access at visitindy.com/combine. See you there.
Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There's a friendly, no-pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate. Call Mark Dietl. Maybe you want guaranteed, no-hassle sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Katie and Chris in Perry Township had to say about working with Mark Dietl. Sadly, our marriage was ending, and we were both ready to sell the home and move forward ASAP. Mark Dietel made it happen fast and easy. Our home sold for more than we anticipated in 24 hours with 17 showings and multiple offers. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com.
This weekend, everything is 20% off, including gas grills, wood pellet grills, and the Big Green Egg and accessories at Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
All right, let's talk property taxes.
Yeah.
It's Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here. Pleased to be joined in studio by State Senator Mike Gasal. He represents Senate District 25, Madison, Hamilton County. Mike, hello.
Hello. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Man, we really appreciate you reaching out yesterday and coming in. You're obviously on that committee that voted on Senate Bill 1 and then a part of the full Senate. And so we appreciate you being the one Lone Ranger who said, hey, I'll come in and talk about this. And so thanks for doing that.
I'm happy to be here, and I'm very optimistic that when session is over, we're going to have a bill that both the House, the Senate, and the governor, and more importantly, taxpayers are going to be happy with.
Okay, you've been now you voted for the bill, but you were pretty adamant that it's not a great bill and a lot of things need to change with the bill. Do your colleagues understand how upset people are about what took place in the Senate?
I can't speak for anybody else, and so let me just put down as a foundation that I am not here representing the Senate, the Republican caucus of the Senate, anybody on Tax and Fiscal Committee. I'm just here representing Mike Gasal.
Well, you know these guys, right? I mean, I mean, it seemed like to a person they all stood up and said, kind of like you did, not maybe with the passion you did, but yeah, this bill's pretty bad, but I'm going to vote for it anyway. I mean, they get that people are upset.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad bill, and I may not have been as clear as what I wanted to be on the floor. I wanted to do more, and I've studied property tax for a long time, and it is a complicated monster.
Yeah, the lawmakers have made it that way, right?
It goes back before any of us were born.
Sure.
I mean, when you study the history of this, even back in the 1930s, lawmakers were trying to get out of control local property taxes back in line, and there's been a history of repeated steps by the legislature to try to reel the locals back in just to have property taxes get out of control again.
And they always, and this is, I think, what people are so frustrated about, Mike, these local governments always find a way to weasel around the intent of what was done, and it seems like these lawmakers, your colleagues, are subservient to these people and this pathetic doom and gloom. Police are going to get fired, firemen are going to get fired, teachers are going to get fired. Now we moved on with snow plows and
street lights and libraries.
Like you understand why people are enraged about this, because we keep getting money taken from us, and these local governments are not efficient and effective with the money.
You know, I introduced a bill this year, kind of got the idea from President Trump and Elon Musk with their DOGE efforts. Yeah. I called it the LOGE bill, Local Government Efficiency Task Force.
How'd that go over?
It didn't get a hearing. And
to our shock and dismay.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try again. The thing that I've found is at the legislature is, and I have background on county council and school board before being a state senator. My wife held several local offices as well. And the thing that is so different when you get to the legislature is that you don't have to get one or two or three people to agree with you to make something happen. You have to get 26 in our house and 51 in the other. And it makes the process just frustrating, but you can't lose those relationships. You've got to, when somebody kills your bill, you can't forfeit the relationship. That might be the person the next time that helps your bill get over the hump.
But it seems like the relationships are amongst the lawmakers and the insider class and the government people. Casey and I talked about this the other day. I almost never see lawmakers post a photo of, I was so pleased to meet with these 100 taxpayers who are pissed off that they're being taxed into oblivion. It always seems like, I met with this mayor or these school board people or these fire chiefs. It's like, it always seems like the relationships are with everyone but the taxpayers.
Well, that's a good point, and it's very difficult when you get up early, you go to bed late, you study numerous bills, and they're constantly changing. It's not like they're static. So it's a rough job during session. It really is. But I answer to the taxpayers. Let me tell you, I've got a long history in Madison County of being a tax cutter, and I'm not going to change. And some of that outrage that you're talking about at local government, you probably remember from me mentioning on the floor, when you rank the tax rates of all roughly 560 municipalities, cities and towns in the state of Indiana, Madison County, where I live, has number 6, number 10, and number 15. Okay,
so they're not doing a very good job.
So I'm living this pain that you're talking about as one of those taxpayers, and I pay enough in property taxes that it hurts.
Yeah.
State Senator Mike Gasal is joining us with the Kendall and Casey show, and you had said during the hearing, I believe it was the third reading, property tax is a horrible way to tax our residents, and many people would agree with that. I think the big question on everybody's mind, and we do appreciate you coming in here today, but why was the rate decrease taken out of the bill?
I think that there are several things. If you look at, I jotted down 4 things that when Governor Braun was campaigning, these are my takes on what I think he said. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think that what he was looking at is very strict limits on future increases, reform in the referendum process, reducing the assessed value on homes subject to tax, and reset
the bill, not the assessed value, but the bill,
and resetting property tax values back to 2021.
That's the thing that is really upsetting to everybody is that the rate reset was taken out, and without that, it doesn't matter what the caps are because they're just going to continue to grow.
Yeah, I think that...
How did that get taken out, Mike? That's what people want to know. I think that's what you can provide us today.
It's like we're led to believe that government didn't exist in 2021.
Yeah, so why did that seems to be the one thing that was taken out. Why was that taken out?
When you look at when you put a bill together, there's a nonpartisan agency, legislative services agency, that drafts the bills and prepares fiscal analysis. And the fiscal analysis that they provided on the bill as introduced, which I think was pretty close to what Governor Braun wanted, but I don't think it was 100% of his ideas. But we're talking like $1.1 billion. And the problem is that we have good actors and bad actors in local government.
Sure.
When I look at these rankings, I see, for instance, let's look at my county is 18th highest property tax rate in the state. They're substantial. When I compare to some of my colleagues and I see, Kosciuszko County and Boone County down at the bottom, why do we want to wreak havoc on the people who have been good stewards? And so I think we need to, the governor's approach, as I think, was more of a shotgun approach, and I think we're going to have more of a sniper approach on this.
But Mike, come on. These assessments have skyrocketed, and people are paying. I mean, when you factor in the fact that when you got, I know you weren't in the legislature then, but when they enacted the property tax caps, they raised the sales tax to pay teachers. So there was a massive tax increase, a tax shift essentially. So now we're still paying that tax increase, and now the assessments have skyrocketed to the point where people are paying far higher than they ever were pre-property tax cap. That is what this bill was about. And it sounds like from what you're saying there that a lot of people are more interested in protecting whoever you deem as some sort of good actor versus protecting the taxpayers.
No, that's not my point at all. My point is that when you look at property taxes as a whole around the state, it affects different counties different ways. And you can see that, for instance, if you look at the total property tax levied in the state, 33% of it is 3 counties.
All right.
Marion, Lake, and Hamilton.
Okay.
When you look at their rates, they don't necessarily have the highest rates. Some of the higher property tax rates, that's what's killing people, is that the rates are out of control.
Yeah, but Mike, come on, the assessment is a huge part of this, where some guy down the street from me sells his home. I do nothing. My dad's lived in his home for going on 39 years. He has done nothing but keep his home up, be a good steward of the neighborhood, keep his weeds, down, his lawn trimmed. He's never profited off that home. He pays more every single year because some guy down the street profited off his house. This is the exact thing you guys labeled Kamala Harris as some sort of Marxist socialist for, which was taxing unrealized capital gains. Why is that okay? Why are people paying more in property taxes because some other guy profits? That's ridiculous.
And that is the reason, going back to Casey's point, of why I said that property tax is a horrible way to tax people.
But you had a chance to do something about it.
Because we tax on unrealized gain. And the assessments used to be a convoluted method of calculating your true tax value until, I believe, around 1996, we had the St. John case. And the court said you've got to have the assessment based on market value and use. So as long as we have property tax, the assessment is supposed to be the market value. And so that is one of the reasons that I say that it's a horrible way to tax people. But my dad built, you mentioned your dad, my dad's 86 years old. He built a house in 1976 for $39,000 and paid it off. But today, he's being taxed at the value that the property would sell for. Well, he has no interest in selling the property. I mean, it's horrible to tax people on unrealized gains.
All right, we got to take a break.
Yeah.
Mike Gaskal's our guest, state senator, kind enough to come in and talk about property tax. With this, you stay around for another segment?
I'm happy to.
All right,
Thank
perfect.
you.
All right. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show. Kash Patel confirmed for FBI director. What's it all mean? Plus, beer sample Friday. 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
It's tax time, and tax time is your time to buy a new Nissan and get double your tax refund or down payment only at Andy Moore Nissan of Indianapolis. For a limited time, when you buy any new Nissan, Andy Moore Nissan will double your tax refund or down payment up to $5,000. That means your $1,000 becomes $2,000. Your $2,000 becomes $4,000. Your $4,000 becomes $8,000. This month only, Andy Moore Nissan will double your down payment up to $10,000. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Good credit, bad credit, even no credit. Our credit experts will get you approved with the best terms with as little as $0 down on any new Nissan in stock. Andy Moore Nissan is making deals other dealers won't and approving deals other dealers can't. Andy Moore Nissan, 4302 Lafayette Road, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
With a B&W Premier Club membership, you'll stay ahead of breakdowns and costly repairs. Our members get routine maintenance, priority scheduling, and exclusive discounts, saving you money and keeping your family comfortable all season long. Visit bplusw.com or call 317-214-0108 for more information.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
Yeah, pretty much the only place my wife and I have done any furniture shopping over the past few years is Thompson Furniture and Mattress down in Columbus. And right now, they have an incredible Indiana-made Smith Brothers of Bern factory authorized sale going on. 50% off. These are the best quality sofas, sectionals, recliners in the business. Made in Bern, Indiana with a lifetime warranty. And this sale ends Monday, March 3rd. And don't forget about free delivery from Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. For over 3 decades, Cordell & Cordell has been on the front lines of family law. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Eastern world. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here. Pleased to be joined in the studio by State Senator Mike Gasal. Kind of coming to talk property tax with us. Of course, he was on the tax committee, part of the Senate that voted to move Senate Bill 1 forward. A lot of people said, including Mike, he's not totally pleased with the way it looks. We're trying to find out for you what's going on. Casey.
Yeah, a couple questions. One, if you weren't totally pleased with it, why vote yes for it? But my real question is, moments ago, you had mentioned the St. John case, and we've heard a lot about that. And some of the talking points coming up is that it's unconstitutional, referencing back to that part of the bill. So why author this bill if we're going to put part of it that's unconstitutional in it?
Yeah, I read both the introduced version of Senate Bill 1 and the current version. And I don't see, now I'm not a lawyer, but
just
I don't
play one on the radio.
Yeah, for now. I did stay at the Holiday Inn Express last night.
So
yeah,
feels very smart now.
But my take, I don't think that there's anything in there that's unconstitutional. So it's possible that when Governor Braun was talking about resetting the back to the 2021 levels, that people thought that he was talking about the rolling the assessed values back to 2021 levels. I don't think you could do that per that St. John case, but you could roll the bills back, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that approach of attacking the bill, but not the assessed value. As I read that case, the house or the business or whatever has to be assessed at the current market value in use.
But there's nothing that says you can't be taxed under that. The cap's 1%, right? You can't go over that. You could go under, which is the bill side of it.
You have to affect it on the bill side, not on the assessed value side. And one of the things that, I was a big fan of Governor Mitch Daniels and the property tax caps. It was great. But what I think has happened over time, think of it as a pressure cooker. Local governments' levies were being held back by the property tax caps. And then all of a sudden, I can't go 10 minutes without an out-of-state investor trying to call me to buy one of my properties. And then you've got all the money that Biden printed and the inflation that's happened. It's caused our assessed values to go through the roof. The pressure cooker is blown, and now we're going to have to do something else.
Mike, one thing that's come up, and we've started doing deep dives on this, is there's a lot of people that are really concerned that you've got guys in the Senate who are voting on this who are making money off these construction management companies, and then they're voting. Essentially, people view it as to protect these government entities that they're making money off of. Now, I know that's not you. I know you're not in the construction management business, but do you guys understand why, or do you understand why people are looking at this going, wait a second, you're running a company or consulting for a company that's making big money off these local government construction projects, which are property taxes, and then you're basically like, well, not going to do anything to affect that. You get why people are kind of starting to reach, you talk about that pressure cooker, like that boiling point. They're there when they hear stuff like this.
Yeah, as I mentioned to you off air, I'm not going to speak ill of anybody in the Senate, the House, or the governor. I've sat in the governor's office discussing this topic, and this is my 7th year in the legislature, and it was the first time I got invited to the governor's office to speak on a topic. And I think I like Governor Braun. I voted for him. I want him to be successful. I think he's going to be a great leader. And in fact, we had a campaign event together when he was running for the Senate, U.S. Senate, and I was running for the state Senate at the same time.
Worked out well for both of you. Okay, so here's the big question, because people want the property tax issue fixed. They believe these local governments are full of crap, that police aren't going to get fired, that firemen aren't going to get fired. They're sick of having their intelligence insulted. We want the bill reset. That is the thing that is going to please people.
Reset back to 21.
What do we have to do to influence the lawmakers? Do I have to put 1,000 people in the state house? Do I have to, what is it going to take for us to get this message through that overwhelmingly there are way more people for this than against us? How do we move people? Because it seems like you're on our team, right? It seems like you kind of want some of the same things that we want. What do we have to do?
I think that most people are very interested in considerable, meaningful, and long-lasting property tax reform. I think the governor is. I think my colleagues in the Senate are. Again, I'm not speaking for them, but and I know it's the number one issue that I see in Madison County is that they want relief. And
because I know they're sick of me and I'm sick of you guys, right? You're fine, but my point is, we don't like, it feels like no matter what we do, no matter how many emails we send, phone calls we make, they're just like, nope.
They still side with the local government.
Right. So it's like, what do we have to do to get the point across?
Well, local government has come down to meet with. I was in a meeting just this last week, and I'm not going to name any names, but there were a couple other senators and I, and a superintendent of a school system, and he's telling us about how even our current version of Senate Bill 1 was going to affect his school, and we're going to have a hard time.
The local governments aren't meeting with you to say, yes, we're on board with cutting property taxes. They're meeting with you to say, we need more money. When is the Senate going to side with the constituents?
Well, I think you judge us at the end. The process isn't over yet. But back to the story, this particular superintendent, I quickly looked up in my rankings, my charts, compared his tax levy from 2021 to 2024 had increased by 30%.
Yeah.
And I just said, were you aware of that? No, was not aware of that. I said,
He's a superintendent that doesn't know his tax levy.
Do you think that the people in your school district's incomes have went up by 30%?
Yeah.
No. I said, you guys got to do better.
Well, Mike, man, we could
Thank you.
We could spend 3 hours with you, man. We really do appreciate you reaching out and coming on, and we wish more of the men and women who you work with would do this, because these are the conversations we need to have, and whether we agree on things or not, we really appreciate you being in here.
Thank you.
You're walking away unharmed, correct?
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity, and you know what? There's 1,000 different ways to get there. And what's important is not how we get there, but that we get there. And I think when you look in our current version of the Senate bill. It even has some things that I think the governor will support that he didn't even have in his original plan. So we're going to have a good result.
All right.
We certainly hope so. Thank you very much for your time and the conversation. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, with leading-edge treatment options right in your backyard.
I feel blessed and lucky. If I knew someone that was going through what I was going through, I would definitely encourage them to participate in a clinical trial. For me, it was life-changing.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
The Ford 70th Annual Indianapolis Boat Sport and Travel Show, February 14th through 16th and 19th through 23rd at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Celebrating 70 years of the great outdoors. Over 750,000 square feet of the latest boats, RVs, power sports, motorcycles, Tackletown USA, travel destinations, and much more. Don't miss the 27th Annual Indiana Deer, Turkey, and Waterfowl Expo during the final 3 days of the sports show. One ticket gets you into both shows. Visit IndySportsShow.com. Another Renfro production.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, the weather in Indiana is about to change. You'll hear how. It was about to be a Valentine's Day celebration, but it was anything but that for an Indiana family. And an event this weekend in Indianapolis your children might love. Those stories and more after Fox News on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, it's 10 o'clock.
The FBI gets a new director today. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Kash Patel will be sworn in by Attorney General Pam Bondi the day after a Senate confirmation the Democrats didn't have the votes to block. They call Patel a vindictive loyalist. Senator Adam Schiff says
Kash Patel is Donald Trump's hand-picked enabler and henchman. The guy who would say yes when everyone else would say no.
But Republicans outvoted them, and Fox's Brooke Singman reports.
Kash will meet with his new staff inside the J. Edgar Hoover building today after already laying out his mission as director. He's vowing to let good cops be cops and rebuild trust in the Bureau, telling me, quote, that the American people deserve an FBI that is transparent, accountable, and committed to justice. The politicization of our justice system has eroded public trust, but that ends today.
Just before 5 o'clock this morning, the Senate wrapped up an all-night vote-a-thon.
The concurrent resolution, as amended, is considered agreed to.
With all Republicans except Rand Paul voting to approve a $340 billion budget blueprint using a process Democrats can't filibuster and block, boosting funding for border security and the military and energy production. But the House is working on a different version, even bigger. Israel's now saying the 2 youngest hostages Hamas took and then released in coffins yesterday were killed in custody in Gaza no later than November 2023.
Who kidnaps a little boy and a baby and murders them? Monsters, that's who.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowing revenge while also calling this cruel.
These Hamas monsters also cynically refuse to bring back the boy's mother, Shiri, and send the body of a Gazan woman instead.
A disaster in Brazil. A truck crashed into a bus carrying college students, killing 12 passengers. The truck's driver was hurt, tried to run away. He was caught, hospitalized, and charged with homicide and other crimes. Luigi Mangione due back in court today for a hearing in New York City. He's facing state and federal charges accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson back in December. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Telling the snow it's time to go. You've got a sunny sky, and it's 18 on Monument Circle, 33 is the high today. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. You'll be seeing lots of sunshine and warmer temperatures all across Indiana in the coming days. But what about more snow?
That's a great question. It looks like, at least for the next 7 to 10 days, we're going to stay on the warm side of these systems. So snow is looking unlikely.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says temperatures will warm up into the 50s by next week. If you need to get gas today, Gas Buddy says the statewide average is $2.94 a gallon. That's down 4 cents from this time last week. A man from Indiana accused of killing his wife on Valentine's Day by stabbing her 40 times with a knife. Police say Taylor Myers suspected his wife Deborah was having an affair and attempted to salvage their relationship with a Paris-themed gesture, but an argument ensued, leading to the attack that killed her. Officers say after she died, Taylor took a picture of Deborah's body and sent it to her boyfriend and said, "Your fault." His trial starts July 15th. He's being held without bond, and he's pleading not guilty. It started as a parking violation, then it escalated. Ryan Hedrick reports on the newly released Lawrence police body cam footage.
You may remember hearing or seeing about a fight between a man and 2 Lawrence cops this week.
But I'm that motherfucker that'll f your night up. What, you got your buddies help you? Nah. But they're here for your protection.
And that's Lawrence police officer Roberto Santiago, who stopped William Armstrong after he parked in a fire lane at Walmart on Tuesday.
Turn around.
Lawrence police say Armstrong told the cops after he got out of jail that he was going to shoot and kill them. Police are still looking into this. They have placed one of the officers on leave. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
If you'd like for your child to attend summer camp, you could try Indy's Child Magazine's Summer Camp Fair tomorrow.
We're going to have more than 30 camps represented. You can go table to table and find out about all kinds of overnight camps, day camps, summer programs.
That's Indy's child editor, Nicole Sipe. The event is free, and it runs from 11 to 2 at the Indianapolis Arts Center. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 10:04, Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
All right, that was a fascinating conversation with State Senator Mike Gasal. Should we get into it?
Yeah, if you missed the last couple segments, we had Mike Gasal in and we were talking about SB1, the property tax relief bill.
All right, so he said some very interesting things and didn't. Oh, he's filibustering for a second. Casey, I got to turn that camera around. We had the camera on him. Hang on here.
Oh, right. So we do appreciate that he came in and he, you know, the sessions, they're not in session today and they have next week off as well. So we're kind of like halfway through.
Yeah, sorry, that was a great filibuster there. So Mike Gasal, who's on the Senate Tax Committee, came in and kudos to him, right? He didn't have to do that. He said, I'm interested in transparency. I'm interested in, letting your audience know. He said before, hey, I'm a big fan of the show. I'm a big fan of you guys. I hear from my constituents all the time that they listen to you. And he, to his credit, he came in here and sat here. All right, but now we got to talk about what he said. And, or didn't say. And I think that was the takeaway.
There it is.
Is they don't have any answers. And he kept kind of coming back to, well, we're going to get something better done. And the two things that stood out to me was when we asked him, what do we have to do?
Right.
We couldn't get an answer on that. And we talked at length about why the Braun bill reset, because he said he thinks it's totally constitutional. He said the bill side of it, if you were messing with the assessments, that's one thing, but the bill reset, that there's nothing in the state statute that says that.
Right.
We couldn't get an answer on why that got stripped out, and that's what people are frustrated about.
Right. That's what people want to know. I think I asked him point blank, why did you take the rate reset out?
And there was no answer for that.
Correct.
And so while it was nice he came in, and he did say that there are local governments that are totally unaccountable and totally out of control, we didn't get any clear answer on the thing that matters most, which is the thing that will help people, the thing that people were charged up about, the reason they voted for Braun. Look, there are some good things in that bill. The making school districts have to wait a year before they can re-up referendums. That's good. The capping of growth. That's good. But none of that stuff matters if you don't fix the signature issue, which is people have been to the point where they're almost taxed out of their homes. And that was the thing. That was the thing I fought with the Braun people about. That was the thing that we spent hours and hours on figuring out how to make that thing work. That was the signature part, and continues to be the signature part of the governor's agenda when he talks at these meetings that he goes to, is we're going to fix something that wasn't your fault, which is this out-of-control inflation, which hit properties harder than probably any other part of the economy. And he didn't have an answer on, and he's on the committee. He has to know.
Well, and we also found out that he does have local governments coming in to meet with him.
Right. And I think if you were to rank who's on our team over on the Senate, if any of them, I think Mike Young certainly is, and there's a couple others who voted no on this. What's interesting is, other than Kyle Walker, I think all the Indianapolis people voted no because they got the earful from their constituents, because Marion County's been one of the hardest people hit. But I think Gasal's on our side. I think he would, if he had his druthers, see people get rid of property taxes altogether. But this is why people are frustrated, because all this stuff gets decided behind closed doors in these caucus meetings where the public can't come. And then you try to get answers, and you basically get stonewalled. And it was nice of him to come in, but he stonewalled us. And we only got so much time.
Right.
There's only so many questions. There's so many things we want to get to. And by the way, he sort of answered it. He didn't really want any part of it, but he claimed he talked to the governor, which I thought this was interesting. He talked to the governor about these construction management people voting on this issue. Now, he didn't go full bore into what he talked to the governor about, but that is also a major issue, which we'll talk about more later on in the program. So, look, nice guy. Glad he came in.
Very pleasant.
But he did not answer the key question of why that got stripped out. And
or whose idea it was to take it out.
Right, because the author of the bill,
he didn't want to call anybody out, did he?
The author of the bill is Travis Oldman. He's the head of the tax committee. He wrote it in there for a reason, and there's a reason they took it out, and nobody seems to understand why that is. And he would not answer, and this was also very frustrating. What do we have to do to show the Senate people are overwhelmingly supportive of Braun's reset? And the fact that we couldn't get an answer on that, it's like, okay, I guess we'll just have to put 1,000 people in the State House.
Well, at this point, it's out of the Senate's hands, right? It's moving on to the House, unless Braun calls a special session.
Well, it'll move to the House regardless. The point is, look, I'm not he keeps trying to say it'll get better, it'll get better, it'll get better. The fact that the House didn't even want to take this up to begin with and didn't even list property tax reform on their priorities list. Now, annexing Illinois counties into Indiana, that was on their priority list, but helping you with I told him this when we talked on the phone, and I told him this when I walked him down to the front of the building. I said, these people need to understand this is not going away. They can either address it now and be done with it, or we carry it over every single day, next year, the year after that. This is not going to stop.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the federal government. Rand Paul, he unveiled on the Senate floor that U.S. taxpayers spent $4.8 million in Ukraine for social media influencers.
So of all the hundreds of billions we sent them, we think 4.8 million went to social media influence. Now, were those social media influencers using guns and bullets and bombs and things you would associate with warfare?
Not on social media.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah. We also spent several $100,000 more to send Ukrainians, their designers, to a fashion show in Paris. But one thing that he also talked about was warning on debt. And here he is taking aim at some of his colleagues for increased spending.
The budget that we will vote on will allow increase spending in the military by $150 billion, increase spending for the border $175 billion, $20 billion for the Coast Guard. It adds up to about $340 billion. Well, if we were fiscally prudent, if we were fiscally conservative, why wouldn't we take the savings from Elon Musk and Doge and move it over here and help with the border? Why would we be doing a brand new bill to increase spending by $340 billion? That's because the Senate is acting as it always has. The Senate hasn't gotten the message. President Trump came to town, a new way of thinking. They're shuttering agencies. They're shutting people down. They're finding things like $2 million spent in Guatemala for sex changes, $3 million spent in Brazil for a girl-centric climate change, $4.8 million spent in Ukraine for social media influencers. While you're at it, we spent, not we, but the people who vote for this, I've voted against all of this, but the members of the Senate who voted for this spent several $100,000 sending designers in Ukraine to the fashion show in Paris. It goes on and on. Thousands of dollars for a trans opera in Colombia, more thousands of dollars for a trans comic book in Peru, hundreds of thousands of dollars spent studying rats to see if lonely rats use more cocaine than well-socialized rats. Guess what? Lonely rats love the cocaine. You spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of your money on this craziness. Why not take that crazy spending that Doge and Elon Musk are finding and move it over to securing the border?
Okay, stop. This is the thing that I've been saying, and I'm glad to hear it from somebody in the United States Senate say, which is Musk can do whatever he wants, and that's great. I'm glad he's finding these irresponsible expenditures. But the reality is the current budget proposed by the Republicans, it's all Republicans now, right? There's no Democrat involvement in this. This is a Republican-only crafted budget, which they will use reconciliation on with all Republican votes. Currently, adds $4.5 trillion to our nation's debt. So Musk can do whatever, and that's fine. But they're doing it again with this new thing. They're adding the $4.5 trillion. We will be $40+ trillion in debt by the time the Republicans are done. As usual, the Republicans are proving, including Trump, because he's on board with the House budget. You have to tie Trump into this. Trump has said, I endorse the what do you call it, the big, beautiful bill. Trump is endorsing adding $4.5 trillion to our nation's debt and continuing the problem that in large part he had hired Elon Musk to try and solve.
Right. I was told yesterday that the Doge crew were in the Pentagon looking things over there. But you had asked the question yesterday, I believe it was. So there's been a lot of talk about giving $5,000 back to the American people.
That's stupid.
Right? And Peter Ducey asked the very same question yesterday.
Great.
And here's the answer that he received.
Stephen, we're hearing about these Doge dividend checks that would be 20% back to taxpayers, 20% to pay down the debt. 60% is left. Who gets that?
Well, the way that it works is when you achieve savings, you can either return it to taxpayers, you can return it to our debtors, or it can be cycled into next year's budget, and then it just lowers the overall baseline for next year. So in other words, you can just transfer it into the next fiscal window and then lower the overall spending level. And that means that you can achieve a permanent savings that way, and that reduces the deficit.
And when is it that people might see those checks?
Well, this is all going to be worked on through the reconciliation process with Congress that's going underway right now. As you've seen, the Senate's moving a bill, the House is moving a bill. The President has great confidence in both chambers to deliver on his priorities. I would just take this opportunity to note that President Trump has made a historic commitment to the working class of this country to fight for a major tax relief and major price relief. And cutting spending, as Doge is doing, and cutting taxes is the key to delivering on both of those promises, and President Trump is resolutely committed to doing both.
Okay, now that was that answer. That was earlier in the day yesterday. And I want to play this next clip because this happened a few hours later. This happened in the evening. Now, keep in mind, who controls the money in the government?
The House of Representatives.
Okay. who is the Speaker of the House.
Mike Johnson.
He was asked this question at the CPAC event last night about these $5,000 checks and the possibility of them being passed out to you. Here is his answer.
The president said that a percentage of DOGE savings could maybe go back to the American people in the form of what he called DOGE stimulus checks, something like 20%. How would that work?
Well, look, I mean, politically, that would be great for us, you know, you send everybody a check, but really, we have to think of it, I think, in a...
That just got everybody's attention, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
I just saw everybody look up all of a sudden.
I know.
Yep.
But if you think about our core principles, right, fiscal responsibility is what we do as conservatives. That's our brand. And we have a $36 trillion federal debt. We have a giant deficit that we're contending with. I think we need to pay down the credit card, right? That's what I think we need to do.
So the guy who controls the money is saying, you're not getting these checks.
But the problem is his bill adds to the credit card. This is... Remember all during the campaign, I said, my concern is Trump learned nothing from what happened during COVID. And he is clearly showing he has learned nothing from what happened during COVID. Because what did he do during COVID, Casey?
He passed out money.
This is printed money. Mm-hmm. He passed out money. The economy doesn't need kickstarted. The economy is overcooked. There's so much ridiculousness going on in this economy right now because of printed money, which is driving prices higher for everyone else. Inflation are taxes. Mm-hmm. Deficits are future taxes. Trump is creating more taxes by doing these things, but what he's doing is the equivalent of going, well, somebody else will have to clean up that mess in 4 years, and everybody will love me right now. I warned everybody about this. All the people got mad at me when I said this. He has learned nothing from what he did the first time.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
The currency of Washington. Politics.
They've got to stop playing politics.
Power.
He just wants power.
Posturing.
What a stupid question.
And I'm going to cut through the nonsense and let you know what is really happening in D.C. this week at CPAC 2025.
He'll talk to the newsmakers, power players, and maybe even find a little common sense.
Stranger things have happened.
Getting the answers that matter to you.
Because somebody's got to do it, and you have a life to live.
Tony Katz, live from D.C. today on 93 WIBC.
Cold weather brings hot savings at Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $12,000 off and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. So get in on those hot savings at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 61,695. Offers good through February 28, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market. Even in winter, we're bringing you the best in farm fresh flavors. Stop in for our fresh salad bar, hot and crispy wing bar, and a cheese selection that is second to none. Got a sweet tooth? Our homemade pies, creamy fudge, and old-fashioned candy will hit the spot. Come see us on US 31 just north of Carmel. We're open every day 9 to 6. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about fresh, local, and delicious. See you soon.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
We all have people in our lives we interact with. Maybe it's your favorite barista, a neighbor who waves to you every morning, a coworker you grab lunch with, or maybe it's me, the hairstylist you've gone to for years. What if you learned I had a substance use disorder? Would it change how you see me? It's okay to see the addiction, but when you choose to see the person, not just their disease, it can help change someone's life. Learn more at seebeyondtheaddiction.org.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Speed. Power. Legendary. This is May in Indy. Start your engine. It's passion and drama. History and tradition.
On their feet.
Victory and defeat.
He will not catch it. Joseph Newman goes back to back.
This is the Indy 500.
Get tickets for the 109th Indy 500 presented by Gainbridge at IMS.com.
This is May.
Dents happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
Those are the All-American Rejects, and they're one of the bands that was announced to perform at the Miller Lite Carb Day concert Friday, May 23rd at IMS.
You ever been to Carb Day?
No, I haven't. I think this may be my year. It sounds like it's a good time.
That'd be right up your alley. You're an events person, and that is an event.
Yeah, Bret Michaels is the other artist that was announced. Tickets are available right now. And so what, more fun than the actual race day, or it's just kind of like the pregame?
Oh, I don't know. I've never been.
You've never been?
Well, I rarely ever leave my house.
Uh-huh.
I mean, look, I've never been an outside drinker. Like I need and Kev will appreciate
couch
this.
to pass
no,
out on?
I mean, I've drunk many times in public, or drank many times in public. That's certainly not a problem. But I need a somewhat more relaxed environment, and I need some air conditioning, and I need just a table with a patio view. If I can have that, I'm fine. It just seems like a very hot, long day for me, and I just need to be in a climate-controlled environment at all times.
So general admission for the tickets are $40. You can get a pit package upgrade. That's $75. And, of course, there's the VIP platform tickets for $270.
Wow. So, yeah, theoretically, if someone were like, Rob, you can come to Carb Day and you can be in our suite, I might consider doing that because that is a climate-controlled environment.
Yeah.
Although I've also mostly given up ever drinking outside of my house. So,
well, right.
Look.
I've told you many times, though, I do have the cash to bail you out if need be. If I get that 2 a.m. phone call.
Here's the case. If I'm going down, it ain't for a DUI.
Right.
You're gonna earn this one. So, I don't know. It's not really my thing, but I do appreciate the people who go and to be young and, have a good time.
Okay.
Or in your case, not quite as young as some of the other people and have a good time.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Kev, you ever been to Carb Day?
I've actually never participated in the Carb Day festivities.
I am shocked because you are all about high-octane insanity.
Mm-hmm. Well, I used to do me and my friends would go to the Coke lot.
Yeah.
And we would ride with our buddy, and he would have his truck, and we would just drink outside of the truck.
See, this is the thing. There actually used to be some meaning to it was Carburation Day, right? Now, who's actually watching anything that's transpiring in and around the Speedway? It's just everybody going for a concert or acting. There used to be a time where there were tons of race crazy people who went because of the race-oriented stuff. I would guess the overwhelming majority of people who go to Carb Day
now just want to go for a good time.
Don't even know there is an
concert.
Indy 5.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's cars over there too. So another thing that is happening with the Indy 500 is State Rep Ethan Manning. He proposed ending the Indy 500 TV blackout.
Yeah,
So-
that seems about right coming from Ethan Manning. That is what he would focus his time and attention on.
Yeah.
Because, like heaven forbid a private for-profit company decide what they want to do, how to best decide how business operates for them. The government must intervene.
So I was asking about this because, of course, the race is broadcast right here on WIBC.
Yeah, that's right.
And
And the radio broadcast is infinitely better than the
and
television
that's what
broadcast.
many people say. And I was talking to Scotty about this. I said, I want to get this right. How long has WIBC broadcast the race? And he said, if you say the late 1930s, you'll be truthful.
Right.
But I believe he narrowed it down to 1939.
Yeah, and I don't know. John Herrick's a radio historian. Hi, John. Welcome to our show.
Hi.
We're glad to have you. Did WIBC continuously, have they always had the race, or was there a period where we did not have the race?
No, I think we've continuously had it.
Wow.
Yeah, since 1939?
Yeah, I don't think it would have gone on anywhere else.
Okay, very good.
Mean,
Because I believe he said that the station came on in 1938.
Yeah, there's a big sign out there that'll
but
track
that
the
was
history of
after
the radio
race
station.
had already happened, so the very next year, and it's been continual since then.
Oh, and by the way, Herrick, now that Darling's gone, is he willing his spot in race day coverage to you, or how does that work?
He actually may still be a part of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he may still be a part of it. Yep.
I'd be very interested in that position. I know 2 or 3 drivers, so
Yeah?
I'd be a great guy for that.
So one other thing that I wanted to bring to your
Dick
attention.
Simon running this year?
One other thing I wanted to bring to your attention before we get into the news is, did you hear the announcement from Ruoff Music Center? The Lawn Pass is being discontinued. Yes.
That's where you pay a fee, and then you can go to every concert, and you have a pass to get to all the good and the bad.
Right. So the Lawn Pass last year cost $239, and it granted you access. So it averaged out about $10 per concert. But Live Nation said, nope, they're not doing that.
Kev, what a great way that would have been for you to meet women.
Yeah, I was just thinking that really hurts my chances.
It does.
now.
I mean, what a deal. $10. I mean, even if you don't care about any of some of these people that go, it's just, I mean, your odds.
Yeah, you're going to increase the odds.
No kidding. And it's summertime, and everybody's drinking and making horrible choices. And do you know, Kev, women would probably be throwing their underwear at you on the lawn at Ruoff if you walked up to them and said, you don't know me, but I'm the producer for the #1 rated radio program in Central Indiana.
Yeah, especially at that James Taylor show.
Right?
That's right. Hey, John Herrick is next with the news.
It's 93 WIBC.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Less snow and warmer temperatures. It's sunny and 19 degrees in the Circle City, and your radar is clear. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:31. You've been dealing with frigid temperatures and several inches of snow lately, but Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says that's changing.
But as we get into the early parts of March, we might get a couple more cold shots. So I would say if we're going to get snow, that would be the next best bet.
Until then, he says temperatures will gradually warm up through the weekend. Luigi Mangione's next New York court appearance is this afternoon. Mangione's accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on a Manhattan sidewalk late last year, and the plan is for him to appear in New York's Supreme Criminal Court in Manhattan. The New York Yankees are changing their facial hair policy. The team will now allow players to have well-groomed beards starting this season. The Yankees have barred players from having facial hair other than a mustache since the 1970s. Managing general partner Hal Steinbrenner said the decision was made after speaking with both former and current players. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WYBC.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
I'm a grandson, a son. I'm an employee and a mentor. I'm a father to 2 beautiful kids and a husband to an amazing wife. And I have a substance use disorder. In other words, I'm living in recovery with an addiction. And now that you know, will you let it change how you see me? It's okay to see my addiction, but I want you to know it's people choosing to see me as a person that changed my life.
See the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance to buy $1 million of affordable term life for you. All you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749. Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
Hey, let's talk about my friend Mark Deedle. Mark is successful, he's good looking, he's charming, and he might be the perfect guy to help you sell your home. If recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home, will you get the price you need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There is a friendly, no pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate, my friend Mark Deedle. Perhaps you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Crystal and Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietel. I was moving to Kentucky and needed to move fast. I got the Mark Dietel marketing plan and was blown away. The plan worked. I got a full list price offer in the first weekend. Just like that, Mark and his team got it done. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. It's Mark, Dietel.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
This weekend, everything is 20% off, including Scott's 4-step annual lawn care program at Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails.
The phone number, 317-684-8444. It is time to hear from you in the Friday edition of your voicemails with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So that proposal to have several Illinois counties join Indiana has advanced to the Indiana Senate.
So think about this. The proposal to annex counties in Illinois. This is the Speaker of the House's signature issue.
Mm-hmm.
The only bill he put his name on this year.
Right.
Not property taxes, not government accountability, not school board bill, nothing. It's to annex 33 counties in Illinois into the state of Indiana. That has moved in a faster, more aligned manner than property tax reform.
This is correct.
This is your Indiana Republican supermajority, people.
Mm-hmm. So here's a phone call about that.
Hey, good morning, icons of morning radio here in Indianapolis. If the legislature and the guys at the State House are going to argue over moving our border, they're going the wrong direction. They should be looking east. They should be looking to Ohio instead of looking west toward Illinois. Look what would happen if we went over and got some of the communities in Ohio. We could possibly pick up 2 professional football teams. We could possibly pick up 2 professional baseball teams. And we could be getting a whole lot more out of this trade. Forget Major League Soccer. Let's go ahead and get some additional professional sports as part of the Hoosier land here.
That was Tom. Tom, I don't know if you're aware of this, Tom. There is some bill, I don't know if it's passed or not, but people were testifying in support of it, some commission to try to woo the Bears out of Chicago into the region area. I mean, this is what our legislature is wasting their time on.
Yep. By the way, that bill, it's just to create a commission. That's
right.
what it is.
It's stupid. It's never happening. Illinois is not voting to give up 33 counties. The Congress is not passing it if Illinois voted to do it. And logistically, Casey, how would you do that?
How are you going to get it done? So the Speaker of the House, Todd Houston, said, if Illinois residents and counties are looking for something different, we're simply raising our hands and saying you'd be welcome in Indiana.
It's an insulting, misguided, misprioritization of responsibility from the Speaker of the House. This isn't some goober state rep from some ville somewhere. Mm-hmm. This is the Speaker of the House, the most powerful person in state government, and his only bill is this commission for this pie-in-the-sky fantasy island thing that's never happening, while right in front of him is the biggest issue to come across the General Assembly in, well, it's been 15 or 16 years, which is helping you afford to stay in your home, and not a peep from that guy on anything related to that.
He'll get to peeping soon enough. They're off today. They're off next week, but then they'll be back in session. So here's a phone call, and this one is about one of the state senators who was on that committee on the property tax reform bill, and this phone call is about Scott Baldwin.
Scott Baldwin. Casey read off a long list of Carmel and Hamilton County contracts that his company has been awarded. Are they not doing competitive bidding in Carmel and Hamilton County? Or is there some inside baseball going on where Mr. Baldwin is finding out what everyone else's bids are so he can underbid them? Or is he just giving such a great discount that nobody can possibly outbid this guy?
So we walked you through how the construction management process works. And I said, look, if this is mistaken, this was given to me by a person who has been a lawmaker in the General Assembly, who is very familiar with how this process works, and said the way these construction management companies make their money. And if it's incorrect, they're welcome to come on and tell us exactly how they make their money. And I have no reason
You think that's going to happen?
I have no reason to doubt the person who gave me the information. And you notice no one has raised their hand or tweeted at us or anything and said, no, that's not how it works. They are allowed to tack an additional 20% on to the cost of the project. So they have no incentive to cut cost because they're getting 20% on top of the project itself. So if the roof is $1.5 million, then they can tack an additional, if they want to, $300,000, and that goes into their pocket, paid for by the taxpayer. It's not like the roofer is giving them some sort of commission. It's paid for by you. This is how a lot of these construction management companies are making their money.
So State Senator Mike Gasal joined us earlier in the show, and we did have this phone call. He is this guy's representative.
Glad to hear you have Mike Gasal coming on tomorrow, as he is my state representative in it. I've emailed him twice and called twice, have got zero response. So he'll have to do a lot of convincing on your show to explain to me why he voted the way he has. Although we all know, because his colleague giving the interview on Fox 59 the day after said the committee did what they did to protect the locals.
Yep.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but Governor Braun's veto and special session is really political theater. They have enough votes to override a veto of Governor Braun's, so they can put any piece of crap in front of him, and a special session is not a threat.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, because people are like trying to say, well, you're misleading people. I'm not misleading people on anything. The veto threshold in the state of Indiana is 50% plus one on both sides of the aisle. Right. It's a very low veto, override a veto. And a special session, absolutely. Those guys don't have to do anything. They can gavel in and gavel out, and they can do nothing. But what else do you want Braun to do? His job is to shine the spotlight, given the limitations that he has, to shine the spotlight on what these guys and girls are doing, or in this case, not doing, or in this case, I guess it's kind of both. What they're doing is propping up local government entities, of which many of these people now, it appears, are making money off of these local government entities and screwing you. And the only way he can do that is what he's doing right now, which are these press tours, these media availabilities. And then if something bad gets to his desk, what do you want him to do? He can veto it, call a special session. It keeps the media attention on it, and continues to give us the ability to talk about it and draw attention to it. If you have a better idea, I'm all ears. What we took out of that, and this is what was frustrating about that interview with Mike Gasal. It was very nice of him to come in and, at least be somewhat transparent with us. But what was very frustrating is he laments the local governments, right? He's talking about how all these local governments are out of control. And then the very mechanism that would force them back into control is the property tax bill reset. And they gutted that out of the bill.
And that's what was taken out.
If you actually wanted, that's why I was so in favor of Braun's plan if you're going to have property tax. And look, I'm in favor of getting rid of property taxes. But if you're going to have them, Braun accomplished all the things. The bill reset not only saves you money, but it forces them, the local governments, to get back in line.
Right. Tighten their belt.
The referendum language change makes it harder to pass a referendum, which hopefully keeps them more in line. And the rate increase control going forward keeps them in line.
Yeah.
If Mike Gasal really wanted to do that, then he had the bill in front of him, as did the Senate, that would have accomplished those things. Was it a perfect bill? No. But the idea that it didn't do those things, if that's what you want to do, I think that's disingenuous.
I'd be really interested to hear back from that person how they felt about what Gasal said. So if you're listening and you get this message, call us back and let us know if he swayed you. in one way or the other. All right, we've got time for one more phone call. And Kevin, can you go down to the very last one? I think I titled this one War.
Hi, Kendall and Casey. My name's Jessica. Love your show. Just a comment on property taxes. I swore that we fought a war in the 1700s called the Revolutionary War because of taxation without representation. We're all being overtaxed, property tax, gas tax, etc., without representation because the representatives aren't representing the citizens. They represent the local governments, or who I like to call little King Georges and Lord Dunmores. We fought a war over it. Do we need to go to that extent again? And a question before I go. Where is Vivek Ramaswamy? All you hear about is Elon. You don't hear anything about Vivek anymore. Just curious. Thanks. Love the show.
Well, Ramaswamy's running for governor of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I think Musk was like, I'm not dealing with this guy. He's obnoxious, and you're out of here.
Yeah, we mentioned that yesterday.
To her point, you're right. And think about how silly this has gotten. We can't, let's just take Carmel, for example.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor and that Adam Austin guy, who I guess is the council president, they can't even keep their story straight on whether public safety is threatened or not, because she led everybody to believe in the beginning, yes.
It was.
Then she came out and said no because she looked like an idiot. And then they did the deal with the public safety people, which is their contract, so they're guaranteed to get this pay.
With raises.
With raises and more days off. And then this Adam Austin guy, who's on the Carmel Council, I think he's the president, comes in and is like, this property tax bill could endanger public. They can't even keep the story straight.
Right, like which one is it?
No, and this is why people are so now irate over these construction management guys serving in the Senate, because no reasonable person would look at that and go, yeah, I'm really concerned there might not be any police officers. No reasonable person would believe that. And clearly there's a reason that you're allowing that narrative to be peddled, and then people look at, see you and the companies you run making money off of this, right? Mm-hmm. And by the way, next hour, we're going to talk about how hard it is to investigate these guys.
Yeah, and why.
And how they're able to get away with this.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show, Kash Patel confirmed for FBI Director. What's it all mean? Plus, Beer Sample Friday. 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text MAINE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text MAIN to 321-321. That's MAINE to 321-321.
Speed. Power. Legendary. This is May in Indy. Start your engine. It's passion and drama. History and tradition. On their feet. Victory and defeat. He will not catch it. Joseph Newman goes back to back. This is the Indy 500.
Get tickets for the 109th Indy 500 presented by Gainbridge at IMS.com.
This is May.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Life Church. You know, it's Friday. That means Sunday is right around the corner. And this Sunday, if you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home, consider the place that so many WIBC listeners have found a home at over the years, Life Church. We talk about this all the time, and it's so true. We love Life Church. They have had such a great impact on my life and my family's life. And man, they would just love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family. Life Church makes it so easy for you with 4 campuses all across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. They have great online services if you want to see everything for yourself without ever having to leave the comfort of your own home. Learn more about everything online, lifechurchin.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIPC.com.
All day long they work so hard.
Things are happening so quickly, rapidly. It's hard to keep up some days, Rob. Like, there was a story that came out yesterday that, I don't know, 2 years ago, we would have spent 10 minutes on.
Uh-oh.
Now we're barely even touching on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the fact that Mitch McConnell finally announced that he's not going to seek re-election in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, this guy has been one foot in the grave, another foot on the banana peel for quite a while. And he would have, he's 83. I think yesterday was his birthday.
It was his birthday.
Why he made the announcement. And Mitch McConnell deserves credit because he did some very bold things that have dramatically improved the condition of this country, and that is primarily the judges.
Right. He played a really influential role in the Supreme Court.
I mean, if it were not for Mitch McConnell, you're staring at a Supreme Court that has Merrick Garland on the court and not Neil Gorsuch.
He did block Merrick Garland.
Neil Gorsuch is number 3 on my list, and Alito and Thomas are 1 and 2, but Gorsuch is a great justice, and he helped get those other 2 in who were, say what you want. Amy Coney Barrett is better than Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? So he did a fine job with that. So let's say the good first. Everything else, though, that guy has been largely a detriment to this country. And you look at, he went into the Senate in 1985, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Casey, I was 1 year old.
Yeah, he was.
I am a grown-ass man with a family of my own now, a wife, children, child, singular, and this guy, I was 1 year old when he started. This is the problem. This 40 years he's been there, it'll be, 41, 42, whatever, by the time he's done. Give me a break.
Yeah. If you can't get the job done in that time. It's too long.
And these people, they applaud the speech, and, all these people are lined up, and this is the problem. These lawmakers don't believe, and you're seeing it at a local level. We're exposing it at a local level. By the way, let me clarify to the masses. Casey, I am in no way suicidal.
Yeah.
I enjoy my life. I enjoy everything about my life. I enjoy living. If something were to happen to me, then everybody needs to thoroughly investigate that.
Yeah.
I just want to get that out there with the things we're exposing.
Yeah.
But
same.
How about you, Kev?
Ditto.
Guilt by association, right? I'm also not engaged in any sort of nefarious activity. I've never done drugs. Let me just lay it all out there right now for the public to hear. I live about as boring a life as you could possibly, as boring a law-abiding life as you possibly can, and would never do anything to put myself in any sort of harm's way.
You really should have worked in an inspector general's office or something, because that's what they do. They seek out waste, fraud, and abuse.
Well, we'll talk about the inspector general actually coming up next hour.
A different one.
But my point in all this is you're seeing it at a local level and you're seeing it at a federal level. These people they believe themselves to be celebrities. They believe themselves to be bigger than the thing itself. And we've got to stop applauding these people. You've got to stop treating them. I've said this for years. You got to stop treating them like they're celebrities or like you're lucky to be around them or meet them. They should be feeling like they're lucky to be around you because you pay their salary. When Dion, our boss, comes in, what do? We all stand up straight, right? Because he's the dude who decides whether that direct deposit keeps showing up or not. We show him respect. He doesn't come in here acting like, oh, I'm lucky to be hanging out with Rob and Casey. No, he's the boss. We're the boss. We've got to start making these lawmakers treat us with respect rather than us acting like we're lucky to be around them.
So Mitch McConnell was the longest-serving Senate party leader in U.S. history. Another thing that happened yesterday that we're just going to touch on, which is huge news, actually, Kash Patel was confirmed as the FBI director. The vote was 51 to 49. And he said that on day one, he was going to release the Epstein Black Book.
Okay, it's day one.
It's day one.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about why these senators are getting away with what they're getting away with as it relates to working for or consulting for these construction management companies than voting to allocate tax dollars to entities that they do business with.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
My work is so hard, give me water. I'm thirsty.
Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, we're plowing through February. That means March, and March means spring, and spring is right around the corner. So with all that on my mind, I started looking at my lawn going, man, it's going to need a lot of work this year. And quite frankly, while I love my lawn, it's probably more than I'm capable of handling on my own. It needs a lot of work. That's why I called my friends at Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. In the coming weeks, Save a Tree is coming out to my house, and they're going to give my shrubs, trees, and lawn a full checkup and answer all of my questions. Then they're going to make my yard look great after some tough weather. They'll treat it so it's weed-free and looks picture perfect. The envy of the neighborhood. I think Save a Tree is going to be one of the best home upgrades I've ever made. See how beautiful your yard can be. Set up your own evaluation at saveatree.com. That's SAVATREE.com. Or dial pound 250 on your smart device and say the keyword Save a Tree. Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Tell them Rob sent you.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Exercise Inc. A lot of folks give up on their bodies in their 40s or 50s. Statistically, we gain 1.5 pounds every year past 50, and it's usually a tough slog to fight that. 19 years ago, I took a friend's recommendation, and I went to Exercise Inc. for one of their free consultations. Me? I didn't want to get heavy. I wanted to stay trim and in shape, and that was really a struggle. 19 years ago I went, and 19 years later I'm still going every week. They've helped me to reach and maintain my health and fitness goals, and they do that with specific strength training in only 20 minutes a week. You've just got to try this health and exercise approach, and the consultation is free. My guess is that, like me, you'll be skeptical for the first couple of weeks, and then it happens. You'll feel better. You'll probably lose some weight, and you'll probably look better, too. Go to Exercise Inc. today and sign up for a free consultation. Avon, Brownsburg, Zionsville, and Greenwood, now in Fishers, too. ExerciseInc.com.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory on West Minnesota Street. The best dealers in the region, hundreds of tables, just $6 for adults, kids 12 and under free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade. This Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory. For more info, visit CentralIndianaGunShows.com.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, people in Knightstown are concerned about their police chief in the future. You'll hear why. That story and more coming up after Fox News Radio on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, it's 11 o'clock.
He's the only reason there are talks to end Russia's war in Ukraine. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump just said.
Russia attacked, but there was no reason for them to attack.
The president telling Fox's Brian Kilmeade radio show.
Every time I say, It's not Russia's fault. I always get slammed by the fake news.
Calling President Biden dumb and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky a terrible negotiator.
Russia could have been talked out of that so easily. That should never have been a war. And all those dead people shouldn't be dead, and all those cities shouldn't be demolished right now.
Now, days after U.S. and Russian talks, Ukraine was not part of. The U.S. Special Envoy to Ukraine says he and Volodymyr Zelensky had positive talks. And National Security Advisor Mike Waltz just said that he expects Ukraine to sign a deal with the U.S., giving America some access to rare earth minerals in Ukraine. Waltz says would be a U.S. security guarantee for Ukraine. Israel's prime minister is calling Hamas monsters the day after returning the youngest hostages, a 4-year-old and a baby, in coffins.
I vow that I will not rest until the savages who executed our hostages are brought to justice.
Netanyahu also calling cruel and evil the remains handed over that were supposed to be the boy's mother were not hers.
Representatives from Hamas released a statement today rejecting Netanyahu's threats. They say they'll conduct a thorough review. But they point out to the possibility of a mix-up of bodies, saying the remains were found in an area they claim Israel had bombed.
Fox's Jeff Paul. Back to President Trump. Here's his reaction to Senate Republicans approving a $340 billion budget blueprint this morning to boost border and military spending, smaller than the House version the president had called one big, beautiful bill. He told Fox it doesn't matter how many bills there are.
You could do for 10, as long as we get along, as long as we get them all added up, and it's the same thing.
This afternoon, Kash Patel will be sworn in as FBI director the day after Senate confirmation. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's supposed to feel a lot different. Mostly sunny and 22 degrees in the Circle City. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Get ready for a weekend warm-up across Indiana.
Technically today we'll start that warming trend, but we're still going to be below freezing. So highs in the upper 20s to near 30. But as we get into the weekend, we're looking at a slow warm-up.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there's no sign of snow in the forecast for at least the next 10 days. He also says temperatures will reach the 50-degree mark at some point next week. The police chief in Knightstown, Frank Beatrice, and another member of the force have resigned. Beatrice cited stress and the lack of benefits as the reasons for his departure, requesting payment for accrued benefits. That's caused those who live in Knightstown to be concerned about safety and staffing. Council members have also resigned in support of Beatrice. Body cam footage shows a man threatening two Lawrence police officers. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The video was shared on Thursday by Lawrence police because they say they're trying to be transparent. It shows William Armstrong parked in a fire lane with two officers approaching him.
I ain't scared of nobody out here. Okay, well, say what you just said again. Scared.
And that's Officer Roberto Santiago clearly getting into it with Armstrong. Armstrong then resisted arrest.
Whenever you got your uniform on, holler at me then. What's that, a threat? Holler at me then.
Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Bird flu has appeared now on more than 3 Indiana farms, bringing the total number of infected farms in the state to 12 so far this year, with 3 additional ones happening recently. A nationwide bird flu outbreak has caused egg prices to go up. For the second time this season in men's college hoops, the Purdue Boilermakers will square off with the Indiana Hoosiers. IU assistant coach Kenya Hunter told Inside IU Basketball earlier this week that despite having a 6-9 Big Ten record, there's still a lot for that team to play for.
Our goal is still to make to the NCAA tournament, and I think if we take care of business in these last 5 games, and that's the way we would like to send them out.
Purdue has also dropped 3 games in a row, but they beat IU earlier in the year. Tip-off is at 1:30 Sunday afternoon, and pregame coverage starts at 12:30 right here on 93 WIBC. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 11:04, Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Casey.
Yeah.
This quest started to fix property taxes, but we have, I think, stumbled onto something that is much, much bigger, if you can believe this, right? As passionate as we've been about property taxes, than the property tax reform bill. And that is what appears to be what I think reasonable people would believe is highly unethical behavior from lawmakers as it relates to they're making money off or working for companies or with companies that make huge money off of the very government entities that they are voting, in this case, in the property tax bill, to screw you over to protect and resources they're allocating to these government entities.
Right, the local governments. So it's a situation of lifting the veil. It really does seem to be like a conflict of interest in many different instances, at least two that we're focusing on.
Yeah, so obviously we have talked at length about Scott Baldwin, this Hamilton County senator. He runs this Envoy company that has massive, they list themselves as a $2 billion company,
$2 billion.
Right? They're a construction management company, and they do huge business with government construction projects, schools, government entities. They're making just massive amounts of money. And we kind of walked through how I was told by a former lawmaker how the construction management process works, where they are taking 20% or adding 20% to whatever the bill, or can add up to 20% of whatever the bill on a project is, or individual parts of the project are. So if you got a roof that's a $1.5 million job, they will add 20% on top of that, and so $300,000 of taxpayer money just goes to this to this company, right?
Straight to the
And so we talked about that, and then it came to my attention that my senator in Hendricks County, Brett Clark, who, he famously, when we read the email on the air from the constituent about, hey, what's going on after the committee had gutted the property tax bill? What's going on with the property taxes? How are you voting on this? He got the me have no idea. Me no win vote will be me no have an idea how me voting. And then it turned out the next day they had the vote and he voted to screw you and protect the local government entities. Well, then it turned out that he was a career law enforcement person.
Right.
Deputy sheriff for years, then became the sheriff in Hendricks County. No building experience, what person would go, boy, you're a real expert in
construction,
construction or construction-related things. He then became a consultant after that for Gourmand Construction Services.
Correct.
And then we started reading all the projects that they do for local governments, including then we found out that when he was the sheriff of Hendricks County, they did this big new jail expansion. They raised the taxes to pay for the jail, which he supported. And then it turned out he goes to work
for them as a consultant.
For the company that oversaw the jail construction when he was the sheriff. And you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, how are these guys able to get away with this? And then we had Mike Gasal on. We asked him about this, and he kind of hemmed and hawed around about it, but he did admit that he clearly sees an issue with it because he said, I talked to the governor about this. And he said, well, I'm not going to reveal what the governor said. But then you're starting to look at this going, okay, how are they able to get away with this? And so I've been talking with someone who I really trust, who is an ethics watchdog, has been trying to be an advocate for ethical, accountable government for years. And it turns out that the lawmakers have written the state statute to where the inspector general, who's supposed to be the watchdog, right? Now, keep in mind, last year, remember, they gutted the inspector general's powers because one of these lawmakers got mad, and that's why Luke Britt has now stepped down, who was a fabulous inspector general for years. He was just like, what am I even doing here at this point? The inspector general does not have the ability to investigate the legislative branch. They've exempted themselves from investigation by the inspector general. So who could even possibly hold them to any sort of account?
Yeah. Okay, so did they pass a law about that?
Yes, it's in statute. The inspector general can investigate employees of the executive branch, but they cannot investigate the executive or the legislative or judicial branch. So the lawmakers and the judges, who's the oversight on them?
Right.
There is none.
Wow.
I mean, the judges sort of have their own, we've talked about this with the people like that are investigating Rokita, et cetera. They've kind of got their own little watchdog group that kind of watch over, and the people with the law licenses. But in terms of who can hold these people accountable, it appears the answer is no one. They write the law to be able to do whatever they want to do, make money however they want to make money. And then if somebody would like to correct this, if some lawmaker would like to come in and say, no, here's the accountability, and then explain how lawmakers working for companies or consulting with companies
who make money off of your tax dollars
is ethical behavior. We're all ears to hear this. I am having to put all this together myself because, of course, other than guys like Mike Gaskell, who kind of gave us some info, but not really, you can't get any information out of these people. So I'm putting this all together with people who have studied this and understand this and know this. So if any information I'm giving is incorrect, we welcome a lawmaker to come in and say, no, you're absolutely incorrect. Here's why this is okay. Here's why this is ethical. Here's how we're held to account. Here's who can investigate us. Because from everything I'm hearing, nobody can.
Well, it certainly does call into question their intent.
Right, and keep in mind, it's not like if a lawmaker took, quote unquote, a bribe, then that could that has been investigated. That has been prosecuted. But this
is going through legally how to do it.
They've written the law to where they can do this, and they'll go, no, I'm abiding by the letter of the law. Look, everything is fine. But any reasonable person would look at this and go, that is gross what you're doing. But they're shameless. These people, they have no shame.
They're not looking out for you. They're looking out for them. They're looking out for them, and they're looking out for the local governments.
And so
who turn around and give them money.
So this is now a much bigger story than property taxes, because now property taxes and what's happening in these local governments being protected is the symptom of the disease. We are now moving past the symptom, and we are going to the core of the matter, which is why these people are voting to screw you over. And we're going to continue to lay out with all these people, whether it's in insurance or construction projects or whatever, as these things come to us, why these people continue to make money, or how they continue to make money, and how you're getting screwed in the process of the votes that they are casting. And then, you can do with that. You can do with that whatever you want. There's something I wanted to look up here real quick. Casey, can you filibuster here for just a thought for just a second?
Yeah, I'm curious as to see what you're looking up. But, it's incredible when you think about how this all started with just property taxes and how we've been fighting for our listeners just so that they can remain in their homes. And then you just uncover layer after layer of what is truly the motivation behind some of these lawmakers as to why they vote the way they do. Well, it's in their own self-interest. It's not for you, the person that they're supposed to be representing. They're supposed to be in this position to represent you.
Okay, so then we get to where the money comes from, right? And so this is readily available information. Again, if this is incorrect, somebody can correct me on this. I'm going off the information that is on the websites, available to the public at large. Campaign donations, money to candidates.
Oh, boy.
The person who is on this donation website, again, readily available to all taxpayers that they can look up, who lists himself as the president of Garmong Construction, gave huge money to a lot of these people, including on what was 1/24/24, according to this data.
So just almost a year ago.
Last year when he was running, $2,000 to Brett Clark.
Okay.
On October 16th of 2020, this same person gave $500 to Scott Baldwin.
Okay.
So if this data is indeed true, Brett Clark is consulting for a company who is then turning around and making a sizable donation, or the person running that company, according to this data, is making a sizable donation in the amount of $2,000, according to this, to Brett Clark's campaign to become
put him
a senator.
in that position.
Then he becomes a senator, and then he votes to screw taxpayers and protect the government entities who do business with the company that he's consulting for.
Mm-hmm.
The prosecution rests here. What reasonable jury, if they heard this, would not go, yeah, that seems really sketchy? I mean, but the problem is now, what do I do with this? I can keep giving you this information, and we will. We're not stopping, right? We warned these people that all we wanted was the property taxes fixed. Give us what we want and we'll go away. They chose not to do that. They chose to screw us to protect these people that they or their companies are making money off of.
Mm-hmm.
So game on. We're not stopping, but I don't know what recourse I have outside of just telling you what complete pieces of garbage these people are. I don't know. I'm all ears. I want this solved. I want this resolved. I want elderly people to be able to comfortably stay in their homes. I want young families to be able to know that they're not going to be taxed out of their homes. I want every person. It doesn't matter by demographic. All I want is reasonable, accountable, responsible government, and I can't get it because it appears these people who are making money off of local governments or companies they work for or with off local governments are more interested in protecting the local governments than they are serving you.
Well, it's because they're protecting their own pocket.
All right, we got to take a break.
Yeah, it's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
The currency of Washington. Politics.
They've got to stop playing politics.
Power.
He just wants power.
Posturing.
What a stupid question.
And I'm going to cut through the nonsense and let you know what is really happening in D.C. this week at CPAC 2025.
He'll talk to the newsmakers, power players, and maybe even find a little common sense.
Stranger things have happened.
Getting the answers that matter to you.
Because somebody's got to do it, and you have a life to live.
Tony Katz, live from D.C. today on 93 WIBC.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
If the new year means it's time for new flooring in your home, Brothers Floor Covering is ready to help. Brand new carpet, hardwoods, laminates, and luxury vinyl plank in stock now. Plus, Brothers Floor Covering can get you new flooring installed in as little as 2 weeks. Visit Brothers Floor Covering today at their new location, 8550 North Michigan Road. Discover why buying local means getting more, not paying more. Get the flooring of your dreams installed now. Go to brothers-floorcovering.com. That's brothers-floorcovering.com.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The 30th Annual Indiana Motorcycle and Power Sports Expo is back and better than ever. February 14th through 16th and 19th through 23rd at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Featuring the Midwest's largest selection of motorcycles, side-by-sides, ATVs, gear, accessories, and more. Plus, Bikers Showcase, Tiny Tots Riding Adventure, and the pioneers of Hoosier motorcycling. Your ticket also includes admission to the Ford Indianapolis Boat Sport and Travel Show. Visit IndySportShow.com. Another Renfro production.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
I got to make a quick clarification here.
Sure.
Luke Britt was the public access counselor. He's not the inspector general. And yes, they did gut his power, and that's why he quit. So he recently just stepped down. Last time we were talking about the inspector general and the lack of power it appears the inspector general has over the legislative branch to investigate these things, like these these guys who are working for construction management companies, deciding what happens with property tax dollars when these companies they're working for or with or consulting for are making huge money off of these government entities. And so put those two together. Luke Britt was the public access counselor, not the inspector general, and he did indeed step down. Great guy, did a phenomenal job for transparency, but I wanted to get that out there.
But you said that they can inspect the employees, but not the legislative.
The executive branch. I don't know what power they've got over the legislative. I think they can inspect I think they can investigate the executive branch employees, but I don't know. I'm going to have to dig even more into this because it's like you read a statute, and, of course, they write it where you got to be some sort of Yale attorney to understand it. So then you're relying on the point is it shouldn't be this hard.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be this hard. And maybe the mission of this show now is not property tax reform anymore. Maybe the mission of this show is blowing the lid off the behavior that is taking place down the street from us that, look, you've always known some shady stuff was going on, right? Like that anytime there's lawmakers or whatever.
For years, recently you've been hearing about all these sexual harassment cases and the inappropriate behavior, but not to this level.
Yeah, and I'm one person, right? Like, you do the show, we do other stuff around here, you go home, you try to have some semblance of a normal life, you be a dad, you be a husband, and then it's like, okay, it's 9 o'clock. Now I got to start digging back into this. Well, then you got to go to, there's only so many hours in the day. And the problem is it's like drinking from a fire hose with all the crap these guys are pulling down the street from us.
Yeah, you just start finding more and more.
But we will stay on it. But you got to give us places to look, right? Like sometimes birdies just send us stuff and like, why don't you look at this over here? And by the way, if anything we've said is wrong, we are giving you the information as is presented to us. And if you work for one of these companies and you want to refute something we've said, if we've gotten something incorrect, we would love to have you on. We would love to hear your side of the story. If you're Brett Clark or you're Scott Baldwin or you're one of these upcoming lawmakers we're going to eventually get to, we would love to have you on because we're giving the information because you won't give us information. We have to go look for this stuff. We have to put the pieces together.
Please tell us we're wrong.
You're right.
We want to be wrong.
We would love to know. We're reading the stuff that's presented to us, and if something we have is incorrect, we more than welcome being told where we are incorrect.
By the way, as your research continues, Rob, it's inspectors general, kind of like attorneys.
There's apostrophe S?
It's inspectors
Or is it plural?
general.
Or is it plural?
Yeah.
Is it apostrophe S or is it plural?
It's apostrophe.
Yeah, inspectors general.
Yeah.
Do we call them general?
No, you call them inspector general.
Like if I were to see them on the street, would I salute them and say, Inspector? Or is it general?
It depends on how you're saluting, I think. Did you hear J.D. Vance? He spoke at the opening session of CPAC last night in Washington, D.C. He was praising the Trump administration in their first month and all the success that they've been having in restoring safety and prosperity. And some of the key issues that he talked about was cracking down on illegal immigration, restoring American energy independence, and also cutting wasteful spending. But one thing that he mentioned, which is getting a lot of attention, especially online, is how he was talking to men.
My message to young men is don't allow this broken culture to send you a message that you're a bad person because you're a man, because you like to tell a joke, because you like to have a beer with your friends, or because you're competitive. It's
People really like that.
Our message, the cultural message, and I think the president's and mine is the exact opposite, but our cultural message is, I think that it wants to turn everybody, whether male or female, into androgynous idiots who think the same, talk the same, and act the same. We actually think God made male and female for a purpose, and we want you guys to thrive as young men and as young women, and we're going to help with our public policy to make it possible to do that.
That's interesting, and it's great to hear him say that because genders have roles, right?
Absolutely.
And you and I, as a man and a woman, you're a woman, I'm a man.
Yes, thank you for noticing.
I love that we can say that and nod at each other in agreement. And we have gutted, the mainstream media in coordination with the left has attempted over the past really decade or so, attempted to gut that and the meaning and roles that genders have in our society, and it's great to hear him say that.
Yeah, well, clearly, I mean, physically, our bodies have different purposes, but he's also talking on a mental or an emotional level as well, that there are different purposes. Many people would say, that the man is the head of the house.
That's right.
And the woman is the heart.
Right.
And that's what he's saying, like, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
You should embrace that and don't turn away from that.
It's like funny. Yesterday, my wife and I were sitting there, and I do my little in-home workout. That's how I maintain such youthful beauty.
Yeah.
And I just looked at her and I said, "Hey, try to pick up that weight." And like she could get it up.
She picks up a baby all the time.
But
she probably could.
It was like she could do it, but you're looking at it going, people have roles, right?
Absolutely.
Men in 99.5% of the cases are bigger, stronger than women. They have roles, and then women have roles as well, and things that they can do based on their makeup and DNA that men cannot do. And that's okay to say that. It doesn't make you some ist or phobe or anything else to say you're a woman and you do things better, and I'm a man and I do things better. And that's how humanity and society has sustained itself since the dawn of time, Casey.
For so long, there's been just so much competition, I can do whatever a man can do, or I can do whatever a woman. You're not supposed to compete. You're supposed to complement.
That's right. That is such a great way. That is such a great way to see that. By the way, I showed you that picture. Can you believe how fat my baby is now?
I know. She looks like a little girl.
Casey
now.
goes like, she looks like a girl. She's a woman, baby.
Yeah, she's not just a baby anymore. She's
a woman, baby.
You can tell she looks like a little girl, like a toddler.
She's a big fat woman, baby. She's a big fat oversized woman, baby.
Oh, she's adorable. And you're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
AAA not only is the best at helping you out with flat tires, roadside assistance, replacing my dead batteries at work, but they can also plan some amazing vacations. And with all this snow and ice, I'm ready for a trip to Universal Studios with the family in Florida. You know what I mean? No matter where you're headed, AAA can help you get the best price on your next vacation at the AAA Travel Expo, Saturday, February 22nd at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel.
It's free. You don't even have to be a AAA member to attend. Although members love additional benefits like 24/7 365 roadside assistance. So save the date right now for the AAA Travel Expo 2025, Saturday, February 22nd at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel. Find your dream vacation at Indiana's favorite travel show. Bring a friend and enjoy the day. Get more information and pre-register for your chance to win a $500 AAA travel voucher at AAA.com/expo.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Lots of discussion about money. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Even though Indiana's budget was approved by the House on Thursday, state lawmakers are concerned that they'll pass the budget. Then cuts will come from the federal government, and that will force them to rework things. Democrat Representative Ed Delaney is one of those believers.
If the kind of threats that I see are carried out, we'll be back here. We will be back here.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun does not believe federal cuts will hurt the state. The budget's valued at close to $50 billion, with money scheduled to be allocated to education, health, and infrastructure, among other things. In Washington, the Senate passed its budget resolution this week. The Republican resolution in the House is a single bill that includes President Trump's tax cuts and will include less than $2 trillion in spending. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Best are us when dreams don't get in. Best are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
Best are us when dreams don't get in. Best are us.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Feeling the aches and pains of everyday life slowing you down? Introducing Blue Emu, America's #1 emu oil formula for pain relief. In a recent clinical trial, 91% of users saw improvement after using Blue Emu. Whether you're working hard, playing harder, or just staying active, Blue Emu penetrates deep to relieve joint and muscle pain fast. And best of all, you won't stink. Join the 91% who felt the difference. Find Blue Emu at your local retailer or online. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Casey, we have some breaking news.
Yeah.
Congratulations are in order.
Yes. This is amazing.
Kev, during the break, just casually dropped this.
Well, you asked him what he was doing this weekend.
I do every year. I always say, Kev, what are you doing this weekend? And he's like, it's my grandma's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that's cool that
Yeah.
your grandma, at whatever age she is still upright and kicking. And he's like, oh, yeah, she's totally on top of everything. And I was like, what birthday is it? He's like, 100.
100 years old.
Your grandma's 100?
The big 100.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
She should
She's
get
a centurion.
some sort of award or something. If you make
Absolutely.
it to 100 years old.
We should have May make her a cake.
Just start signing my babysitter up for. So, look, I know it. Life, ages, whatever the average age is advancing. 100 is still incredibly impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome. Make sure you tell her happy birthday from us.
From the number one rated radio show in Central Indiana, the Kendall and Casey Show, wishes Kevin's grandma a happy 100th birthday.
Yeah.
And that's good news for you.
Right.
The gene pool.
Well, my grandpa lived till he was 98, so.
They were married?
Yeah.
How long were they married for? Any idea?
Oh, man. They probably, I think they got married in the late 40s, so.
So he's 70, what is that? That's 70 plus years, right?
Something like that.
So my grandparents, let's see. My grandparents made it, let's see, they were 42. I think my grandparents were married 72 years, almost 73 years. And they lived into their 90s. They both died the same year. That's amazing. That both of your, now is this on your mom's side or your dad's
it's
side?
on my dad's side.
Your dad's side. That's good for you.
On my mom's side, my grandma is also in her 90s.
And still living.
Yeah.
Kev is one life's lottery.
Yeah.
Unless you just do something stupid, you should be okay.
Yeah, well, it seems like typically the men don't live as long, but yeah, like my grandpa lived till he's 98, so maybe I will. I don't know.
Your brother was recently married. Were your grandparents able to make it to the wedding?
No.
Yeah, it was out of town.
Yeah, it was in
Travel.
Florida. They're not going to get on a plane.
That's amazing, though. Happy birthday to Kevin's grandma, 100 years. Okay, I'm going to give you a number, and you tell me, like, right now, if I offered you this number, would you take it, or do you want, like, what's the deal or no deal? You know, where they would, Howie Mandel would say, you have X amount of dollars, and I will give you the option of taking this prize, or you can keep opening cases or whatever, right? Yeah. If I said, Casey, right now, I will give you 90 years, and those 90 years will be healthy years, and then you will go at 90 years old. Are you taking that?
Yes.
You would take it?
I am.
Okay. Kev, I'm gonna say you can live to 90. You will now, but healthy. Like you won't be, Mr. Physical
Like
Fitness
you'll
the whole time.
still age,
Yeah,
but
you'll have a reasonable level of physical fitness. You won't have any terminal illnesses or lose a foot or anything like that. Would you take 90 good years?
That's a tough one because I want the people that I love to live long as well. But yeah, I think, it sounds good.
Okay, you take 90.
Kevin, I think you may go longer than that.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially because you're young and medical advances keep happening.
You could be selling yourself short, and you have that gene pool on your side.
But I already know where I am currently, and I know based on my parents.
Yeah.
I mean, my father's already gone. And when I look at it now, he was relatively young when he passed. And I know mom's mobility, so I would take the 90-year-old deal. What about you, 90?
Oh, no.
I'm
like Austin Powers. I like to live dangerously. I mean, I plan on, when I go, think of what the world will be deprived of. What if I had an additional 10 years left, Case?
What if?
No, I mean, I could theoretically, after today's show, I could be gone at 41. But
sure. But you never know. So somebody who's experiencing some health issues, I don't know if you heard about this, Brian Setzer of the Stray Cats.
Okay, so we had to look this up, but he does meet our criteria of being a big deal.
He does.
If you're new to the show, when it comes to musicians, if you had 3 what we would call mega hits, like 3 songs, if you said to the average person they would know that song, then you're a big deal. And we had to look it up, but he does. He had to Jump, Jive, and Wail, Stray Cat Strut.
Right.
And then there was one.
Rock This Town.
Rock This Town. So he makes it by the skin of his teeth, but he's in with the 3 mega hits. So
he said that he shared this on social media, that he's no longer able to play his guitar.
So he's just going to sing?
And it's affected his ability to perform on stage as well.
Yeah,
and
that's too bad.
He's got an autoimmune disease, and he's been going through some treatment, and he's seeing a little progress, but he's only able to perform some basic tasks like hold a pen or tie his shoes. So playing guitar, definitely.
So you and I had this conversation before, which is, like, if you're a Billy Joel type artist who was just here, or an Elton John where you're just kind of doodling at a piano, you can get a little robust in the waistline and lose your hair, and the guy's wearing a jacket and a nice shirt, and nobody knows the difference, right? It's not as big a deal. Now, Sting, on the other hand, who still looked marvelous, the photos I saw of him still looked, even though he's in his 70s, in great physical shape. That would be a little depressing if you went to a Sting show and he shows up there looking like Elmer Fudd.
A little rotund,
right?
A little comfortable.
And so I wonder if you're a fan of this guy. Now, I freely admit I'm not like a super fan, other than knowing those few songs. Wouldn't that be a little depressing if the whole thing, because part of his deal is he's a great guitar, or was a great guitar player.
Right. And if he's not able to bounce around on stage like he used to and play the guitar, it sounds like he's not going to be performing anytime soon anyway.
It's why I stopped going to the Springsteen shows. I mean, he's not disabled. And it's interesting because, like, Jake Query went to see him at Wrigley Field, and he was like, I know you're a huge fan. That was the greatest show I've ever seen. It was one of my all-time favorite concerts. And I was thinking, well, he's never seen him before. So to him, like, it's to the average person, this is still a phenomenal show. But to me, it's like, man, he looks kind of old and pretty slow. So it's all, I guess, relative to what your what you're used to. So I don't know if you're used to seeing this guy and he's not doing the thing. I don't know. It might be kind of depressing.
Brian Setzer, 65 years old, and I don't think I've ever told you this. What was the tour after the Born in the USA tour?
Tunnel of Love.
So that was 1986, 1987?
87, 88, yes.
I saw Bruce Springsteen in concert when you were 4.
How was it? Were you swooning?
Yeah, it was good.
Did you want to ride down?
It was really long. It was like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, get your money's worth. What a novel concept.
Yeah. I can't even believe that I saw him when you were not even in kindergarten yet.
Here we are together.
Yeah. Susan Beckwith is going to join us next. It's 93 WIBC. Inside Out.
Hammer and Nigel Show. Kash Patel confirmed for FBI Director. What's it all mean? Plus Beer Sample Friday. 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
The new year means new deals at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. This is where you get your next Ford car, truck, SUV, EV, or fleet vehicle. Elevate your journey right now with the new 2024 Ford Expedition Platinums. Save over $15,000 off MSRP. Equipped with a high-output 3.5-liter EcoBoost, it delivers up to 400 horsepower for commanding performance. And with the premium leather-trimmed interior and wood accents, you're sure to enjoy your time on the road. Need something a little smaller but still enough room? Check out the new 2024 Ford Edge SE. Save over $6,500 off MSRP. You got to check out everything going on at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Get more to your door. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it directly to you. Visit the showroom, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com. Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There is a friendly, no-pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate. Call my agent, Mark Dietel. Maybe you want a guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Katie and Chris in Perry Township said this: sadly, our marriage was ending, and we were both ready to sell the home and move forward ASAP. Mark Dietel made it happen fast and easy. Our home sold for more than we anticipated in 24 hours with 17 showings and multiple offers. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark Dietel, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
Have you heard about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation? Your neighbor Bruce did.
Well, the project I was wanting to accomplish was my driveway. I wanted to see if I could get something that looked halfway decent, that would last a while. We also had a side patio surface redone.
Garage, basements, patios, sidewalks, driveways, Galaxy will transform your surface in as little as one day.
The crew was very, very good, excellent. The end result was just super. It is non-slippable surface. I get this if you want to make sure you're not going to have any people slipping or sliding when it rains.
Commercial or residential, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
The end result was just super. It was very easy to keep this surface clean. I had tire tracks all over it, and I just took out my hose, sprayed it down, and it looks just like new again.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com and remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We are out of this world.
It's tax time, and tax time is your time to buy a new Nissan and get double your tax refund or down payment only at Andy Moore Nissan of Indianapolis. For a limited time, when you buy any new Nissan, Andy Moore Nissan will double your tax refund or down payment up to $5,000. That means your $1,000 becomes $2,000. Your $2,000 becomes $4,000. Your $4,000 becomes $8,000. This month only, Andy Moore Nissan will double your down payment up to $10,000. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Good credit, bad credit, even no credit. Our credit experts will get you approved with the best terms, with as little as $0 down on any new Nissan in stock. Andy Moore Nissan is making deals other dealers won't and approving deals other dealers can't. Andy Moore Nissan, 4302 Lafayette Road, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, no. Stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $119 plus a 4th room free and $75 off air duct cleaning too. Zero Res 317-388-5141.
Kendall and Casey.
I'm a young, up-and-coming professional. We are people who want to work. We want to engage. We don't want to be freeloaders. And yet, it makes it very hard for young people to actually do that.
Kendall and Casey, 9 till noon on 93 WIBC.
Susan, looks like I'm losing my mind.
Casey, it's that time.
It is. It's Friday, Robin. You know what we do on Friday.
We get the heck out of here.
At this time. Well, before we get the heck out of here, we check in with one of our favorite people.
Yes, we decided, about 2 years ago, that you, our fabulous audience, well, you needed a little help as you would head into the weekend, becoming better, more productive members of society. And
This is true.
So we need an etiquette coach, and
Yeah.
for that, we didn't just find any rank-and-file amateur. We found a former Miss Indiana.
Yeah, but she's also the second lady of the great state of Indiana.
That's correct.
We go right to the top.
And her name is Susan Beckwith. She also happens to be Micah Beckwith's wife. And Susan, before we get to our etiquette tips for today, I've got you were telling me this story offline, that you somehow, you crashed some tour of the governor's mansion and ended up pestering Maureen Braun. What happened?
It has been a great week. And on Tuesday, I had the opportunity to go down to the governor's residence. I was very grateful. Representative Criswell's wife, Sabrina, reached out and invited me to attend. And it's a group that I was completely unaware of. And she said, we'd love for you to come and join. But it's an assembly, the State Assembly Women's Club. So I'm not sure if you all have heard of it. I was not familiar, but it started way back in the 20s, basically so that state legislators' wives could kind of get together and socialize and get to know one another while at that time their husbands were, because probably in the 20s it was very male-dominated. Now that's changed.
It sounds like some sort of secret society like Nicolas Cage would have uncovered in a National Treasure movie.
It's like the Junior League on steroids.
You know what? It's a great club. They do a lot of really fun things. So I was glad to join them for their Valentine's tea. And as part of that, we got to tour the part of the residence and see it. And really, for me, one of the highlights was there was this beautiful china cabinet, and they had all of the various china patterns that were created by the different administrations. So that was fun to see.
I love this, that a bunch of connected women get together and have some sort of tea club
and talk about China.
And they find this is exactly how I picture your life being, Susan.
Well, I was very glad to get to know some of the legislators' wives. They've been very welcoming. So it was a great day, seeing the residents. It's beautiful, and it was really neat to see and hear about Maureen's plans, for some of the artwork that they're going to be putting in and installing. So it was a great event. And I just think it's just an opportunity for people to kind of get to know one another.
I think it is probably neat that you guys talk about the history of the mansion and the different china that the first wives have selected over the years. But my question for you, Susan, when you're meeting someone for the first time in this situation, do you shake hands? Do you air kiss? Do you hug? What do you do?
We did shake hands, and it was all very sweet. It was a little different. I wasn't sure if it would be like a formal speaker and it would be like a sit-down tea, but it was more of a mixer, which I really appreciated because I felt like that lent itself.
Load up party.
Well, it was easier to converse, to get to know several people. Mrs. O'Bannon was there, so I got a chance to meet her. And so it was just a really great, very diverse group, and I enjoyed myself.
She's still alive and kicking, huh?
She was great. She had requested to speak with me, so I went over to her, and she was like, I think you guys have the best gig going, and she was like, I think it's going to be great. And she was very encouraging, and so I enjoyed meeting her.
What's that like, being summoned?
We get summoned to our boss's office all the time, Casey.
It's a little different outcome, isn't it?
There's never any excitement or enthusiasm,
We don't get
though.
tea.
All right, real quick before, and we will do the etiquette. But I got to tell you this. Susan asked my advice on something the other day,
What?
Casey, and then I don't think they took it very serious. What they gave. So what is there? There's some event. It's called Hoosier Idol. Is that a thing?
Oh, right.
Yes, it's coming up in April, and it is going to support a nonprofit that does a lot of great work in the mental health space. And so it will be down at the Indiana Roof Ballroom. And so I just learned about it yesterday. So I went to, who I thought were experts.
Yeah.
So I was like, we need some song selections. I think we are going to be doing 2 songs. So we need some help picking out, what we're going to do.
So this is something where the lawmakers kind of like, or the big muckety mucks down at the State House, they kind of get up and in good humor do jokes or comedy skits or singing or whatever, and the money
Talent show.
Yeah, talent show, right? And the money goes to charities, as Susan said. And so you and Micah are going to do some sort of thing together.
Yes, we are going to. And I think the nonprofit is Mental Health of America,
good
the
group.
Indiana branch. And so, yes, we are getting up. We're going to be joined by 2 people that work in his office or are connected to that office. So there is an opportunity to do 4-part harmony. So we've been kind of trying to think through, should we do some old school stuff like Mamas and the Papas?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Susan asked me, she said, what song should I do with Micah?
Yeah.
And look, I got to say, with the utmost level of sincerity, I gave her a couple of choices, and I don't think that she took this very seriously.
Well, you said what? Bread and Dan Fogelberg were your
That's
suggestions?
right. I said Diary by Bread, and I said Longer by Dan Fogelberg would be the 2 songs that I would whip out for Hoosier Idol.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody really took those even under advisement.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you were serious. I think my suggestion was some grade school George Washington song. But if you really want some input, I think you could go with like If I Had a Hammer from Peter, Paul, and Mary, or even Amazing Grace, or the National Anthem.
Susan's like, I've never heard of either of those songs. I said the crowd would erupt if you did Diary by Bread. They would erupt. Like listen to this. Can I just play a little bit of this and you tell me if the crowd would not erupt for this? Tell me about this. All right, Susan, I think you can hear this.
I found your diary underneath the tree and started reading about me.
They could do a little 2-part harmony with this.
The words she'd written took me by surprise.
What do you think? No? Nothing?
I think she would put the crowd to sleep with that.
that is exactly what I was thinking. I listened to both songs because I had never heard of either of those artists. So I was like, oh, man, these are kind of low energy.
Yeah.
Well, I tried, and when you guys don't win, who's your idol? Don't blame me. I gave you the keys to success there. I love that she went and listened to both Dan Fogelberg's Longer and Bread's Diary.
And then she woke up.
So sorry you had to do that. So
you could do maybe Country Roads. That's having a comeback right now.
It is. I do love that song, and so maybe we will do that one.
We didn't even look. I feel terrible. You had headphone etiquette for us today, and I've just totally.
We don't have time.
Well, no. I mean, is there some of the headphones we need to know about?
You know what? We'll keep it really simple. But basically, I had stumbled across this article about incessant headphone usage as, contributing to the collapse of social etiquette. And what's so funny is I was, walking and reading my phone while wearing headphones. And so it's like, no, this is very, convicting. So basically, just having a really good, earbud etiquette awareness that, there is a time and place for them. And also talking on the phone in public. I've encountered that a lot lately, in the grocery store in particular. So just be very mindful of when and when not to wear your earbuds.
You'll love this, Casey. So yesterday, Susan's like, I don't know if we're going to have a whole topic on this. And I said, Susan, you know how this will go. I'll derail the conversation with something that had nothing to do with you wanted to talk about. And, we'll be 6 minutes in and they'll be like, hurry up and get your etiquette points.
Right. She spent all this time researching it, and we give her 30 seconds.
Tell us about your very fabulous website, Belle of the Midwest.
Well, that is where you can go and find some of the topics that we have covered in the past on social etiquette. So if you also have a question, submit there. I've loved hearing from listeners this past week. I loved connecting with someone from Oregon. So you guys people listen to you from all over the country, so that was really special and sweet.
Oh, we know.
Have we ever told the story about the time we had a listener fly in from Denver?
Yeah.
And they were like, no, I don't want to see you guys. I want to go meet with Micah. Micah's told you that, hasn't he?
Yes, that was pretty impressive. So I just think the reach that you guys have is pretty amazing. So it was fun to hear from them. Also, if you have a song suggestion, like I'm on the struggle bus here, so send something that you think would be entertaining that would help us win Who's Your Idol.
It's not Dan Fogelberger bread.
I love that, though, that somebody who listens to our show from Denver flew in and they were like, I don't even care about meeting you two. I just want to go. I want to go hang out with Micah. All right, Belle of the Midwest, BELLE of the Midwest. Find it on belleofthemidwest.com and Facebook. Susan, good luck with your whatever you're doing this weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great.
All right, and that's going to do it for us today. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening today.
The
we'll
crowd
catch
would
you back here
erupt
on
if you
Monday.
played Fogelberg. Erupt, Casey.
I don't know about your math there, Rob Kendall. This is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
If you're drowning in unresolved tax debt, know this. The IRS can place a lien on your home, garnish your paycheck, and levy your bank account. That's catastrophe for you.
We interrupt this message to bring you some good news about your tax debt. We're TaxRise, experienced tax professionals who can help you seek relief programs and work directly with the IRS on your behalf. Find out if you qualify with a free consultation. 888-788-4220. Eric from South Carolina owed over $74,000. We helped reduce it to $798. Troy, a disabled veteran, owed over $142,000 and settled at $500. We've helped thousands of clients with their tax problems, and we're ready to help you. So take the drama out of your tax debt and rise above your situation with TaxRise. For your free consultation, call 888-788-4220. 888-788-4220.
Results vary, not guaranteed. Client names changed. TaxRise is not IRS affiliated or a law firm.
Don Fisher here for QC Kinetics. I want to share with you the best thing I've done for my knee pain. I've been hearing commercials about the groundbreaking treatments that QC Kinetics offers for months. Meantime, my chronic knee pain had hit an all-time high threshold. I wanted to stay active and enjoy playing golf again without the pain. So I decided to call and book an appointment. And what I found out was that QC Kinetics is the non-surgical solution. I have no knee pain and feel like I did 10 years ago. And it's all because of the non-invasive therapy from QC Kinetics.
Discover the solution to joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. For a free consultation, call 463-282-6886.
I'm back to playing golf and enjoying life. Take it from me, this is the best call you can make to relieve your orthopedic pain.
For your free consultation, call QC Kinetics today. 463-282-6886. 463-282-6886.
Let's talk about getting back to your best. Lack energy, muscle mass, feel moody, or have low libido? It could be signs of low testosterone. Know your T levels. Get tested. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer. The true experts are at Low T Center, and everyone's different. Don't settle for a standard dosage TRT program.
Get personalized treatment at Low T Center. For current patients, Low T Center offers a $150 referral credit when you refer a new patient. LowTCenter.com. Book that appointment today. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on SingleCare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to SingleCare.com or download the free app today.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296